Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's driven in the air by Matt Conti, the freshman, to the wall in right and gone! Matt Conti goes deep, and Wake Forest got the lead. Line in the right, another hit. Run number 5 is heading home as Federico fumbles the ball in the outfield. Mastoni is in, and it's 5-0. Murray State. One cross for Murray State. Ground ball over to first. Another tough play, and Cunningham beats it out. And another run is in as Mastoni scores. It's 2-0. Murray State. Manny Marin in the ninth spot goes first pitch swinging. Right center field and deep. Williams at the wall. That ball is gone.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
I was just debating over whether I should put these on or not.
Well, I mean, you made it here. You might as well, right?
Dude, that was a very interesting. You're a funny dude. Funny dude.
See, the show starts even before the show starts, you know?
It's definitely one of those things where it was your delivery.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
It's just weird.
It's the same thing when I say something you hate.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's my delivery.
It is.
Yeah.
Ego.
Like the actual words aren't bad, but
for anybody that's wondering, like, what was so funny? we were talking about a multitude of things. You know,
like we do.
Yeah, you know, people parking and bad episodes and who'd be nice to old people and who'd be mean to old people and just a bunch of things.
Yeah.
You looked at me deadpan, just the straightest face, and you go, "What'd you say? Can I just say something without being weird?" What'd you say?
Yeah, I said, "Can I say something without it being weird?"
And your face was so serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sure, what?" And you go, "You smell incredible." Yeah, I don't think you should say that, but it was so funny.
I mean, listen.
And you used the word incredible. I tried to put that word on the show.
I mean,
Losh.
So
He said it's distracting. I'm like, do you want me to move?
no, you're fine. I didn't notice until you sat down.
Yeah.
Because you're like right next to me before you're like walking around and stuff. And so it was like I just was all of a sudden, you know.
I appreciate that.
I mean,
it could be a lot worse.
You take a lot of pride in like the way you take care of yourself.
No, you could be like, and I'm rocking my my Elmwood.
Oh yeah.
Meat plant.
That's where you got the pig at, right?
Butchery and smokehouse.
Is that where Jace works?
Yeah.
That's your guy?
Yeah.
There you go.
You
haven't had to call him lately?
I haven't called him since it's been about 8 days.
Do you think he misses you?
No. And I swore, like when I called him, it was early, it was like 6:30.
Yeah, you called him before you got here.
I thought he said he was just getting off.
Oh, maybe he's a third shift guy.
I'm like, damn.
He could be an overnight guy.
Do they do that?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Gotta keep those pigs processing all night long.
Yeah, so I would have worn it sooner, but I'm one of those guys. I don't know how you are. And people, everybody's weird with this. Yeah. I can't wear 98% of the things that I buy new.
Mm-hmm.
I need to wash first.
Oh, yeah, my mom's like that.
I'm not one of those, and maybe so. I think it's a generational thing because you young guys, although T-Mos can wear stuff right off the rack.
Yeah,
I
will. I'll wear stuff right off the rack.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think I got it from my mom.
Yeah, my mom's that way. She's just she won't wear anything unless she's washed it.
Yeah, I don't like the way it smells.
There are some things that they smell a little like factory
material.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm still traumatized. I used the Blackstone yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I'm not one of those guys that's gonna say it's overrated.
The Blackstone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I like it. It's cool.
They have had like a cultural moment in popularity though.
They have.
Yeah.
And I think it's overblown.
Okay.
I do. I think it's very good for something. Certainly in bulk.
Yeah.
Right? I think breakfast is significantly better on the Blackstone.
Okay.
I haven't done fried rice, so I can't speak to that.
I have seen videos of people doing fried rice on
Yeah.
and it looks pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, with the way people make fried rice,
Mhm.
like at the house, they always make it look good.
Yeah, they do. And
You
I've
know,
never
it's-
had good fried rice at home.
I'm
Ever.
gonna go ahead and we do it,
Yeah.
and it's still not as good as
Like it's okay.
And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I've said this before, and Wyatt made fun of me. We have a mini Asian mart at our house.
Oh, no, yeah, you've told me.
I mean,
I think you showed me.
yeah,
Yeah.
fish oil, sesame oil, hoisin,
Because you go to the Asian market a lot, don't you?
accents. Yeah, we like
That place is the
so
best.
we can seriously replicate.
Yeah.
and it's
You know what it is?
whatever they drizzle in the ladle.
It's MSG.
No, I have MSG.
You have MSG?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
I have accent MSG.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know then. Because usually that's the thing people leave out because it says no MSG and like they still put MSG in it.
You know what? I'm not tripping off MSG.
I'm not
I don't
either.
use it a ton. I've had the same container
Yeah, you don't need a lot of it.
for, I mean, well over a year.
Yeah. Do you use sesame oil?
Yep.
Okay.
Listen, that's kind of my secret ingredient.
Yeah.
In a lot of things I do.
It goes a long way and a lot of people forget about it.
I won't like.
Like authentic tasting Asian food, there's like that little bit of sesame oil. It does a lot.
Yeah, but we did smash burgers. We got these sweet patties from
Do you do these on Blackstone? The
Yeah.
smash burger? Okay.
and I mean,
So what's the like?
it's just okay. Like
Okay.
your boy, I prefer a grilled burger. Dan Hoppin and I had this conversation ad nauseum for probably, how me and D Hop could go.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably. It seemed to go over months
Oh,
because he
sure.
was doing like a burger review.
Yeah.
And my favorite question
So
to
you're doing
ask,
this like online?
he was doing it online.
Yeah.
I'm picking his brain.
Gotcha. Okay.
And my number one question I'd always ask him, I said, does it taste more like it came off a range or a grill?
Mm.
Because I'm not a big. It's just okay. Like I don't. Some people like that kind of that dinery feel to a. I like a little grill, like
Yeah.
an open flame taste.
Yeah, because it tastes different. Yeah.
But
I'm probably more of a diner burger guy.
are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the flame
So's Micah, and he was emphatic.
I feel like the flame can overtake the taste of the burger sometimes.
Yeah.
And so
I feel
I
you.
want the burger taste.
I have to be careful with that when I use my barrel to just grill
Mhm.
because
A little too smoky.
it still has a little smoke
Yeah.
to it. So I have to. What I need is a vacuum to get
Oh, to get the smoke out?
not the smoke necessarily, but the ashes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I use a lot of. I use wood chunks.
Yeah.
So
Like the little pellets.
yeah, but I woke up hungry, man. I was not feeling my
Mm.
smash burgers.
You-
Everybody else thought they were like.
TK says fried rice is elite on the Blackstone. We're invited over.
Yeah, so I watch a lot, man. Like every 4 algorithms is a video.
Yeah. I've
And
seen
I
people
see,
do it.
and I see
yeah.
people do it a lot. One guy, I think he built his house off of TikTok.
Probably, man. There's a bunch of those.
I'm serious.
I've-
And Blackstone sends him something every day.
I follow a bunch of like the dog creators, like people with their dogs or whatever, and all of those people moved into nicer houses.
I think Hot Danger's onto something. Salt, fat, and sugar. That's what people like. The difference between what people cook at home and restaurants is salt, fat,
So
and sugar.
he's not wrong.
Although fat is very prevalent in our house.
So he's not wrong because I know
I have tallow, I have bacon grease, I have
Yeah, you told me about
unsalted,
the
I have
bacon grease.
butter. Like I don't use any.
Like oils.
Nope.
So I will say from my professional chef wife, she has told me that most of what the difference is, I don't think this is the case with Chinese food or stir fry or fried rice, whatever it is that we were talking about. Most of the time, it's that people don't use enough butter. Like most of the time.
Is that what it is?
Like
Yeah, you see what they drop in like
that's the thing. People don't
Kobe or I
people-
mean the
they don't understand how
the
much
dude
butter
takes the big
restaurants
old
use.
shovel thing.
Yeah.
He slices that thing in half and he puts half the fat, and it's not like
No, it's in like
a
this.
stick you and I would buy.
No, it's like a
It's-
industrial size.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
That is the biggest difference is people dramatically underestimate the amount of butter is used in restaurants.
interesting.
It's unholy.
Is that the rain?
I believe so. Yeah. It was
Wow.
pouring on my way over here.
Well, Annie, how about last night?
I didn't wake up. Because it was middle of the night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like about 2 maybe.
After
That thing wet.
after Little Rock couldn't hold on, I called it.
Oh, I was pissed.
I know, me too.
But it's still.
We did get rid of a lot of SEC teams, though.
I'll tell you what, they've only got 4 left, right?
Yeah.
And 2 have to play each other.
Yeah, out of 13.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So you have Arkansas and Tennessee. So we're guaranteed 1.
Yes, but absolutely no more than 3.
Yeah, and
yeah,
you've got how about my Atlantic Coast Conference?
Hey, Carolina,
Yeah, Louisville,
Florida State,
Duke. Certainly on TV more than Leave It to Beaver reruns.
Duke. I forgot about Duke.
You can't forget about old
I
Dookie.
know that's bad on my part. And then Miami.
Correct.
So they got more than the SEC left.
Yeah,
We love to see it.
I got to check my poll on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Weirdo.
I didn't say anything.
I don't. I know exactly where it is. I don't.
Don't matter to me.
Hey, where you at?
You got-
That's not what I'm
you
talking
gotta check
about. I need to
sometimes.
check my poll on Twitter. I know I'm
Hello?
gonna be discouraged.
Yeah.
Yes, because
What was the question again?
Well, it's the same thing I asked you, but I can't get you to be objective, so I stopped talking to you.
I mean,
But
objective's my middle
this
name.
is on the heels of going back through the Joel Klatt thing. I've been talking with my guy Lance like the last 3 days over direct messages about the House committee and formats and
Which Joel Klatt thing? Because he just had another one yesterday.
the one I sent you.
Yeah. That's the 5'11".
Yeah, which is laughable.
Yeah.
The 5'11" thing, and not to get off what I'm getting ready to say here and say, the 5'11" thing is for people that are anti-you that are like, oh, I trust the committee.
Mhm.
They'll do the right thing. You're just the opposite. You're like, well, I'll sacrifice the AQs because I don't trust you because I want some guardrails.
Yeah.
I don't want you having
That much power.
it's just too arbitrary. And the committee hasn't shown us that.
That they do well.
Yeah.
They also, I think, people are too easily influenced. People are too
you
easily
think?
influenced. I will say, and we'll come back to this. There is part of the 5'11" that speaks to me. There's part of it.
The seedings, just the straight rankings. Get what
Well,
you,
we're doing that anyway, right?
No,
Allegedly.
not the seedings. I'm sorry. The top, the next to the best.
Yes.
The best of the next.
Yes.
Wait,
The next best.
the next best.
Yes, because
I get it. I'm with you.
I do think there's.
I'm with you.
I don't think we want to lock into the fact that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be the best forever because we just don't know that.
I'm with
We
you.
can assume, right? But I like that the 5'11" allows for leniency if other conferences come to prominence. Like it wasn't that long ago that the Big Ten wasn't on the same plane as the SEC.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, what was it the last year? The Pac-12, they were like the second best conference in the country.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 was loaded there last year.
Now there's still 3 hours left in the voting,
Okay. So what do we got?
but this is discouraging.
Well, frame the question for me.
It's exactly what I asked you on the show.
Okay.
I said, if you're the ACC thinking about AQs,
Mhm.
which is more likely to happen on a yearly basis for the voting committee to consider?
Okay.
Clemson, FSU, Miami all contend?
Okay.
Any 2 of the 3 contend? 1 of the 3 contend? Or none of the 3 contend?
So I'm going to rank these
Okay.
in the order that I think are most likely.
Okay.
Most likely, I think, is 2 out of the 3 contend.
The poll does not agree with you.
That's fine. The poll can be wrong. I think most likely is 2 out of 3 contend on any given year, right? I think the second most likely is 1.
That is leading the poll with 48%.
Yeah, I think that's a little too negative on the ACC.
Dude, it's had 10,000 views.
I get that. I think it's a little too negative on the ACC.
1 out of 3 contend is 48%.
So here's
Any 2 of the 3
Yeah.
is 28%.
Is that second?
second?
So
What do you think is last?
I think 3 out of 3 is last.
It's last.
Now 3 out of 3 is third for me. I think
So you know what's
none
funny?
out of the 3 is 0 out of 3 is last for me.
I started with the supposition,
Mhm.
and I know this is what the ACC is thinking. Why can't all 3 schools be good?
I mean, we've been thinking that for 20 years, though.
That's not true. Not in this era.
not in this era.
Not in the player movement era.
No, it's been 5 years, 4 years, whatever.
So
Yeah. So there is a different
remember,
set of circumstances.
2
here.
years ago,
Mhm.
I mean,
Florida State went undefeated.
And you taking a big old duker on Clemson. I mean, everybody had.
Yeah.
It's had the game pass Sweeney by.
Yeah. Can you
took
win,
one big fat?
Can you win the way he wants to coach?
Yeah.
Now, I don't personally like Sweeney. I don't think he's a bad coach. He's very good at what he does. I just don't like him personally. That's fine.
I knew I was going to be disappointed.
But I'll take Sweeney over Cristobal for sure.
So that doesn't surprise you?
I am not surprised by the lack of respect for the ACC.
Indiana can be good. Hey, this is what we got thrown down our throats. I mean, crammed down. Like, how can Indiana be good and Matt Rule can't turn around the program?
We did hear that, yeah.
How does Indiana be good?
But we don't think Clemson, Miami.
But we don't think
Florida
Clemson,
State.
Miami, and Florida State can be good? Nah. No, come on, man. Like, talk me. Like, but nobody agrees with me.
I genuinely believe it's the total lack of respect for the ACC. I really do.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
You do realize in the toughest conference in America, arguably, and your little Big Ten, we're talking about Illinois being a playoff team.
Well, I'm not, but other people are. I know.
But
Royal
Clemson, Florida State, Miami can't be good in the same year?
No, they can. They can.
Okay.
I wouldn't bet on all three of them being good. Here's what I would say, though.
Mike Norvell is on the hot seat, and he's split with Florida. Not he himself, but Florida State has split with Florida their last 10 matchups.
Yeah.
That's not the narrative.
No, people think Florida's a lot better.
Yeah.
And Florida State had been bad for a good chunk of that time.
Sucky.
Like real bad.
Well, hell yeah, I want to do it now.
I know, me too.
Looking at you, Willie Taggart.
Yeah, well, you took it, man. You didn't like that guy.
I was thinking about taking huge dukers on stuff.
I'm like, you don't like any black coaches.
That's not true.
We've been through this.
I like Marcus Freeman a lot.
More than not, like you don't. I had to make you make a list. I had to make you make a list
of white coaches I don't like.
You just were conveniently hating on all these coaches. I'm like, you do realize you're trending, right?
That was basketball, though. Mostly. It was mostly basketball.
I thought that was supposed to come natural to us.
Well, I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to leave that. No,
Indiana's good.
Indiana is good.
But Miami can't be.
Miami can be. Here's the thing that's funny about the ACC, right?
You're funny.
Well, sometimes. I have my moments. The funny thing about the ACC is they actually have some programs that if they figure it out, all of a sudden that conference becomes really competitive.
Yeah.
Because we talk about – so if you had worded the question a little differently, I would probably have put 3 out of 3 on top. Because I don't know if it's going to be those 3 programs. I do think you can have 3 programs be contenders in the same.
Like, why not?
That's what – like North Carolina can be a really good program.
And that's the other one that gets some revenue eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. The other, and that's not even to mention, like, Louisville's had a lot of success in the past, in recent success.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they, for a stretch, were better than Florida State, for example.
Well, for once, you're not wrong.
SMU has more money than everyone.
Hey, by the way.
SMU has so much money, they're like, you don't have to pay us for a while.
Them and
We're
Texas
cool.
Tech, apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Like, oil money.
We're just paying softball players, like,
yeah, just breaking off
couple
a milli.
commas. a milli.
Everybody.
Speaking of which, okay, we'll go back to the ACC in a second here. Why was my timeline like openly rooting for Oklahoma? I don't have a single Oklahoma person on my timeline.
I don't know.
And I'm seeing Nebraska fans, when they tied it, be like, Oklahoma. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why is Oklahoma the plucky underdog? They're coming off a 4-peat.
Yeah, it's like.
Like, what are we doing here?
I know what it is.
What?
Because she's likable. Pat, she's likable.
Okay, cool. Where do you live in Nebraska?
I don't
understand.
So
what's
she
happening.
is kind of quiet, cool.
Okay.
She said, so they did an in-game with her yesterday.
Okay.
Cole, is it cool if I ask Ravi, can I say, hey, were you watching Oklahoma, Texas
I
Tech?
was. I didn't have volume, so I didn't hear the in-game. But I was watching.
Again, no.
Shots
fired.
It's Women's College Series. We said this yesterday. That's on the table.
All right,
That's
Cole,
fair.
I'm good.
It's a championship.
We will embrace it.
So they
Championship,
did an in-game with Patty, and she said she was talking about her team's composure.
Okay.
And she's like, it's just they're weird.
They're weird.
They get back to the hotel, and it's like, okay, well, what's for dinner? Where are we eating?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, so it's It's kind of swaggy, but it's kind of crazy. It's just weird. And I was like, did she just say swaggy? Oh, okay. No, she dropped swaggy in the middle of the game,
Like
on a
Nick
live
Young, Swaggy
interview.
P?
And I wanted to give her some, like, I don't even say swaggy's too young for me. I would never say that. I know, hey, Breeze, man, that is so
Oh, man,
swaggy.
you looking swaggy everywhere.
Yeah, right?
He'd look at you funny.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe Oklahoma's likable. I was not cheering for anyone.
I wasn't either. I was just watching.
I don't like one single team that was left yesterday.
Yeah, now I got Texas Tech, so I'm probably rooting for Tech there.
I mean,
Just 'cause it's not
the only
Texas.
reason you could talk me into Texas Tech is because they're not Texas.
Yeah, that's the only
But
saving grace. And they're not SEC, so that's
Texas Tech has a lot of money, man.
Oh yeah.
So
No, we saw that. Like that's why they were just like, "Hey, Stanford pitcher, come here. Here's whatever money you need." No, but like
in case you haven't realized what the football team's doing.
Oh, I know. That transfer class was bonkers.
Most people have a top 3-4 in the country.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say, speaking, because you brought up SMU.
Yeah.
Did you when did it dawn on you that Stone is in Northwestern? Like during the quarterback thing?
So
because I didn't know that until a month ago.
I had totally forgotten where he'd gone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we're going through these and I'm trying to put lists together and stuff.
How did I shut that lady off? She's driving me
Like
crazy.
permanently off?
I don't want to see her anymore.
Hey, Siri, knock it off. That didn't work.
It looks like a planet is just rotating. Okay, you're messing it up for everyone.
I apologize.
What the world? What'd you just do?
I have no idea what happened.
We simply can't do that.
I know, Trev, and he closed me out of just about every. No,
I didn't close. Just minimized.
Well, that too.
We'll just see where it goes.
My man Stank is back.
Stank Nooner?
Yes, sir.
So that was the thing about SMU is like you can't tell me SMU can't in this era be competitive every year because they've just got the money to do it.
I just want 10%. Only 10% picked all three could be good.
So if you give me any three, I'm going with that one for sure. Instead of just those three, if you give me any three from the ACC, I'm definitely taking that.
So I'm not gonna. So don't give you the three teams that have actually won national titles.
Correct. Yeah. If you give me any three,
all in the last 25 years.
Correct.
But don't give you those.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not taking
give you the new kids on the block.
I'm not taking the field. I'm saying if you include the entire conference. Like I'm not saying exclude those. If I get the entire conference, and you say will at least three teams contend every year,
that's fair.
I'm taking the three
because I had to pick. I wanted to pick three because I keep hearing them getting slotted for two.
Right.
And this is on the heels of the last 2 weeks of whether the SEC thinks that they can get five.
So, I mean, if I look at teams that I think can be contenders in the ACC, SMU, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, no-brainers to me whatsoever. North Carolina, no-brainer to me whatsoever. That's five. Are there five teams?
I'm about to shut her down too, Steven, because I like to put my stuff over there, and she just – I don't know why she lights up.
Don't put that crap on me.
It's that little touch bar at the top. There's a button.
Well, don't touch it.
Well, you're the one putting your stuff over there.
Sometimes I don't know whether you're 8 or 38. It's incredible. I know you are, but what am I?
I'm rubber and you're glue.
Well, what about you? You did it too. Like that. You're that type of dude.
Whoa.
You're that type of dude. To heck with ownership. It's what somebody else did.
More of a lease guy myself. So those are five teams right off the bat without even thinking too hard.
I'm shocked. Now, hopefully, there's some time for some sanity and for people to kick in here.
I think I
want you guys to actually think about it.
Is there anybody else in that conference you think can be a perennial contender?
I don't know.
Outside of those five.
Is Bill still taking Jordan to practice?
Oh, I said North Carolina. I'm saying outside of the Belichick thing, just as a program and infrastructurally.
Smooth, Carolina. You're out on VTech. We're out on Virginia.
I'm not out on VTech. I just don't know if they have the resources. I think Virginia is probably closer resource-wise than Virginia Tech.
I don't know. Don't tell that to Brian O'Connor.
Well, that's fine. That's true. I think Virginia runs into some of the Georgia Tech issues academically.
The academia world.
But I do think they have the money to do what they want if they feel like it. I think, personally. I mean, their endowment's ridiculous. Like they have a stupid amount of money.
I have the $100 million that SMU has.
Well, that's a different story.
And I don't know if they're. I think they've hired the right guy.
That's SMU?
No, in Lubbock.
Oh yeah,
but they got money.
Yeah.
You better be careful because you can't just stockpile talent anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was having this conversation with Lance yesterday. My man LC.
Kids want to play, man.
Right.
Kids want to play.
And so, and I think we follow a couple of the same guys, and they're doing all these updates on the House Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one of the guys should have significantly more followers than he does, because I actually think he's pretty smart.
Which one's that?
He reminds me a little bit of my Big Ten information guy.
Okay. Oh yeah. You sent me them.
So he said like we can bring him on whenever.
Okay.
But we just can't use his name, which is fine.
We can give him an alias
because he operates in anonymity.
Because I'm probably not going to call him Big Ten information guy the whole time, so we can come up with a nickname.
This guy is for common sense.
Okay.
So letter 4, common _ sense. And he's talking about the class action lawsuit and the settlement. And he thinks the biggest sticking point is the one that didn't even need to be introduced, which is roster limits.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, number one, he's like, and I thought it was well written. He said the House versus NCAA top 10 reasons why the settlement should be rejected. He says there is no class representative for the injunctive relief, the IR class, because there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this.
It's just kind of this blank,
nebulous thing, right?
Because those are the older players, right?
Yeah.
The guys that are gone.
He said this is a basic requirement in a class action. House and Prince are done competing in the NCAA and will not be impacted by the injunctive relief. They cannot represent the IR class, which are 2 former guys or participants. And then he went on to give a list. And I responded, I'm like, I don't even know why they stubbed their own toe. It's the same thing I said on the show a couple months ago. It's like you introduce something that seems to be the sticking point that wasn't even really part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
My man LC was like, hey, just, and I think, I don't want to misquote him, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, you listen to some guys like Jamie Pollard. It's about the numbers. They can't afford to pay. You want to have everybody have the same. I'm like, listen, I understand the premise. I just don't agree with it because we have all these socialist principles. Let's do this for everybody. Yet we're in this capital market where everybody's going to try to go give money. So you try to come up with these formats, and then it's like, well, but I know we do this, but okay, maybe this part of capitalism will be okay here.
Yep.
And why don't you just simply do this? I'm like, listen, man, I'd like a bigger house, but guess what? I don't want bigger bills.
Yeah.
So if you're a school and you don't want to be responsible for paying a bunch of entities, don't have a bunch of entities.
Yeah, just don't bring them on.
But if you can and you want to, which by the way, there's only a handful of schools where the roster limits will really matter.
We're talking about like less than a dozen.
Probably.
I mean, we're out of 100.
So if they want to spend more money,
let them.
Because you know what?
That's the market.
Nobody's sticking around that's contributing.
Not on a 130-man roster.
They just aren't. They're going to go someplace else.
And
so it's going to sort itself out. So why introduce it?
Here's what I think happened.
That means this is absolutely not right.
It's possible.
I'm trying to kill your confidence to keep the volatility going.
Here's what I think happened.
This is not happening.
Probably not. No.
Are you just
the irrational confidence is hard to kill.
It's a monster.
So here's what I think happened is they took this opportunity to they say, hey, the NCAA is actually not going to do anything. They just are totally toothless in this situation. The only way we're going to get any sort of constraints on this thing is through legal action. And since this is the one that's already there, they're trying to – you see this in, like, Congress all the time. And I'm not, like, whatever. people attach stuff to a bill that doesn't really have anything to do with it just so they can get it through.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to cram every regulation or constraint of the new college system that they want into this bill because they don't know what the next thing, if there's a next thing they can get through. And they are tired of getting their teeth kicked in on lawsuits. So they're trying to put some things in place legally.
Well, I just think
to make it move forward.
Well, fundamentally, it's just flawed. There's people that can make money, as much money as they want, trying to tell people, trying to put limits on people for making money, and so it comes across as disingenuous.
I mean, it is,
and self-serving.
It is. It's entirely self-serving.
Well, then you're not going to land the plane.
The judge might let you. I mean, I think we're pretty close to the judge letting him.
We'll see.
If they get the roster limit thing figured out, it seems like the judge is going to let him.
We're going to be all right.
That's the kind of like dirty little secret about it all. Even though you probably shouldn't be able to do the thing they're trying to do, they might get away with it.
And I kind of agree with Todd. He said it's introduced because everyone is hung up on equity, and there's a difference between equity and equality, right? Like just Google.
Yeah.
Don't use the little chick that looks like a floating planet.
Siri.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're running some trouble there. It's all right.
Yeah,
also, do like a real Google. Sometimes the AI gives you the wrong answer. Gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta be careful there.
Yeah, AI gave me Sloane Stevens on 4 in a row, and it wasn't Sloane Stevens.
Sloane Stevens doesn't have 4 in a row of anything.
So I was like, God, AI, you rot.
Yeah.
No wonder these kids are failing this sheet. Pimped a lot of bad information out there, and the kids are just regurgitating it.
And that
happens to adults too.
I was watching a guy do his vintage. I almost did his voice thing on TikTok. I'm telling you, he can't read.
I can't read.
He can't read.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly one of those things where you got some information from somewhere, you haven't really ascertained it, and you're trying to regurgitate it. I'm like, I just want to be like, hey, I don't know if I care for you, but I do care about your well-being, so I guess I do. Don't do that. It's hurting me.
Read it a couple times first before you turn the camera on.
It's okay.
Like, it's fine.
And when you start talking,
it doesn't take that much longer.
Like, you just give off the vibes that you don't know how you're going to end the sentence.
It seems like he's as surprised by the next word as the rest of us are. It's like, oh my God, that's next. That's incredible.
Boy, TK is an old soul. He is an old. How do you even know the term, Thomas? My man is dropping bootstrapping.
Yeah. What S word did I use? Stank Nooner says we don't use the S word. I haven't sworn.
What did you say?
What S word? I don't know. Stank, what word are you talking about?
I know his real name, so you give me the willies when you keep just calling him Stank.
You want me to call him Nooner? Is that better? I don't have like that's my only context for who that person is.
Hey, Stank. No.
Oh, okay. The AI lady, because apparently sometimes when people are listening to you and you say, "Hey, that lady's name," it'll like turn their device on.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful. That's my bad. I won't do that anymore.
Sometimes when I would yell, I would talk about Alexa, and I could, if people that were listening to me, I would turn on their Alexa.
Yeah, you gotta be careful there.
I'm like, "Hey, Alexa."
People like that?
No.
Coming up on the show today.
I don't know if people like that.
We've got Matt DeMarinis from the White and Blue Review. He was down in Fayetteville this weekend. We'll talk to him about a lot of things, but we'll also talk to him about the end of the Ed Service era.
End of the world as we know it.
Big REM guy?
Everybody hurts. That's it.
All right.
Nobody can
Fair
do
enough.
that.
The days are long. Pretty good.
It's not bad.
You're like, man, I like working with that dude. He's funny.
We'll talk to, it's mostly I'm here for the singing. We'll talk to Matt DeMarinis from the
Dude, I can sing.
From the White and Blue Review.
You're like, no, you can't.
I mean, you are capable of physically committing that act. Yes.
I feel like there's some snark in there.
No, snark or stank?
I don't even use that word. Oh, you stank. Stanky booty, stanky
We'll talk
booty.
a little end of the Ed Service era. We'll talk to him, see how good he thinks Arkansas is. And maybe we'll get a little NBA in there.
Well, they got a doozy. Arkansas and Tennessee.
Yeah, barn burner. That's an Arkansas win.
You'd think.
I would think so. I think they're better.
Yeah,
I think they're better. Then at 9 o'clock, of course, we'll have Mike J. Schaefer, Husker 24/7, as we always do. It's a big June
You got a sucky draw
for the Huskers.
And I told you.
No, out in Corvallis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it.
Like,
that's pretty rough.
That is tough to have one of those two teams not in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I jinxed you when I said, because I'm like, hey, keep an eye on Oregon State, right? To yesterday, I didn't realize that they would draw Florida State.
I didn't either.
So I wasn't saying that just to be yapping, because Florida State is actually looking like the part.
They look really good.
It was impressive how they played.
Yeah, they cruised through that regional, and that was a pretty good field. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming next.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Goes to Nebraska. How much of a pull is that for you?
That's a big pull because, I mean, me and Donnie grew up playing for the same organizations our whole life, and then it's like we're teammates our whole life, so it'd be amazing to play with them and just like be with them again.
But that won't be the end-all, be-all for you.
No, it won't, because I mean, there's other decisions like that will make it, because then I would already commit by now. But so it's like I'm still thinking about, okay, yeah, I can play with him, but also there's other things that I don't know if I want to go to or not. So it's just all gonna be a decision.
What is so let's walk through each one of those schools, right? So Iowa State or Minnesota's first.
Yep.
So this weekend, what do you like about Minnesota so far?
Minnesota, I like so far was like they were one of like the first Big Ten schools to talk to me and offer me, so I felt really good to me. And then Coach Collins has been there since the beginning, and he met my family. And then when I went up there the first time for a spring visit, it really just blew my mind, because I mean I've never been to Minnesota before. And it was just amazing going there and just like seeing the culture, and then meeting Coach Fleck, how like amazing a guy he is. There's like more to him than just like the fame that everyone else sees. So then I'm really excited to just go back up again and just like really talk to both those coaches, and then even more coaches.
Mm-hmm. Seven-on-7 season is here, I guess, if you will, and you've been doing that. What's next for you kind of this summer, or what kind of camps and things do you want to do?
June 6th, we up at Nebraska for the Adidas tournament, so that's the next thing. That's what my head's at right now.
What about anything planned or want to go to after that?
I want to play OT7, so I've been talking with a few people to get to play OT7.
People recruiting you as a safety or corner, or
most schools are recruiting me to play safety.
Yeah, that's your natural position, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, about this Central team, and it's just June. We had this camp today. What do you like so far about this group?
I love, we got a new player from Bell West, Caprice, and he kind of helped put the team together a little bit. He make it able so we can like spread out our guys on the field a lot. So our defense is one thing like I feel real good about.
Yeah.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, where you can come and get some of the June specials. Did you see them out there, DB?
I did. I saw the Cajun
shrimp wrap. Ooh, that one sounds good. Got a Chicago dog coming?
Yeah. I'm not although I'm not one of those people that, because all of a sudden it's like cool to like tell people you don't like hot dogs.
Oh, I like hot dogs.
I like hot dogs.
You're not taking them over burgers, but.
No. No. Although your rationale, unfortunately, did make sense.
See?
Because people screw up burgers way easier than they screw up a hot dog.
Hot dogs are hard to mess up.
Yeah, but like, you used to be proud to knock off hot dogs. Now it's like you got to like, if you get one out of the foil, you got to sneak it and eat it fast so nobody knows you actually ordered it.
You see me at every West Side game I ever go to. I go over to the concession stand, grab a hot dog and a Diet Coke.
Our concession stand is pretty legit.
Grab a hot dog and Diet Coke, bring it on the field, which I don't think I'm supposed to do.
You can smell the grill.
And eat that while I'm watching some West Side football.
Yeah.
That's what I do. You know?
That's what I do.
Big hot dog guy. So they got the Chicago dog. I'm not I like fewer toppings, but if you like a Chicago dog, I've seen it. It looks terrific. They got you covered here. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Yeah, this is
the summer specials.
This is the most specials that they've had because I believe there were 4 for the hood.
Yeah, and then you had the barbecue pulled pork as well.
Yeah, and potato salad.
Ah, man.
Are you out on potato salad?
No, I've kind of been on a potato salad kick lately.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. I've had it twice in the last week, which is a lot for me because I probably hadn't had it in several years since before that. But I had it at Terragausha.
Which my barber called yesterday.
Yeah.
I was out. I almost burnt my buns talking to that dude.
What happened?
Now, he's a total foodie.
Yeah.
D-Night?
Yeah.
I mean, he's comparing it because he cuts Chef Joel's hair from from Salted Edge and now Pivot Steakhouse.
Yeah.
He's like, I had to tell Joel, look, man, you guys in competition. I said, really? How'd your boy take it? But he let him in on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Said, come on, Joel. I might want to go somewhere for Father's Day.
Hook him up.
I ain't going to Pivot. I guess that I ain't happening. Anyway, we get Maddie yet?
No, it's gonna be 8:00.
Oh man, why was I rushing him?
I think
you made it seem like the dude was like Rip Van Winkle. You're like, well, if he's up, I'd like to get him in the morning. And I was like, what do you mean? It's only a 6-hour drive. Does he waking up under a bridge?
I don't think he's like an early riser typically.
It must be that whole crew.
It's sort of. I think it's a beat writer thing.
Yeah, Joel's like that.
A lot of them are like, hey, they stay up late, they watch the games.
Remember, it was always a crapshoot if we were going to get.
Yeah, we would get him at 9:30 too.
We're like, Joel, we've moved you back.
Hey, bud, you up?
Which, by the way, we're getting him on Thursday. He's hilarious.
You know what time we're going to have him at?
9:30.
9:30.
There we go.
You know he was picking.
Yeah, he's like, what's the latest time you got?
He was picking something super late.
But it's a good thing we're not getting him the day after the game because he might not be awake.
So I like what's happening though.
On what?
With the Cavs, not the Cavs. OKC.
Oh yeah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's actually likable.
I think he's a likable guy. I know you don't necessarily like his game can be a little.
Don't paint me in that. Listen, nobody puts baby in the corner.
I'm not. Nobody's putting DB in the corner. It's okay.
I said you just can't replicate his game.
Yeah, and I think there's some people that don't love watching it because it's not as smooth, right, as some guys' games. But
Malanta, smooth as Malanta.
You say that. I don't know what that means.
Okay. I was going to say, if you can tell me.
Is Malanta like the antacid thing?
Yeah.
It's like a little antacid, like little.
It's kind of like
the liquid one.
It's kind of like bootstrapping. I mean, it's an old saying.
I'm still tripping off TK using that.
I mean, he's like an 85-year-old man in a 25-year-old's body.
God, I mean, that is a very 70 to 80-ish reference.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 70s. I was like, no, it's like the 40s.
No, dude said good old bootstrapping. Like, what the? He's 23.
He's like 25, I think.
I'll take me.
I think if you put the over-under at 24.5, I'm taking the over.
Oh, definitely I'll take the under.
Okay. TK, how old are you?
Watch him say 26.
Chime in. Well, he finished law school.
He's probably going to school at like 14.
I'm just saying 22 plus 3 is 25. I'm taking the over. Whatever. Take me over.
I got to ask you some questions, okay? Because you're rooting. Are you anti?
Ah, damn it.
What?
24.
I mean, it's me. Come on. Come on.
You said 23 first.
Come on now.
You won the bet. It's fine.
Come on now. I need another $20.
I know.
I'm sitting on 40.
You didn't put any stakes on this one.
I'm gonna need to double. I'm gonna need to triple it up if I take somebody to Teragausha, or if I go to Pivot. I'm gonna need to triple up.
Dude, go at lunch. It's cheaper.
He went Sunday at 3:30, and he said it was awful.
Weekends aren't cheaper, but like during the weekday, like go after the show gets over. I think they open up at like 11.
Bro, I don't eat lunch.
Well, I'll just skip dinner that day.
You gotta tell me the day before.
Okay.
Or 2 days
I'm not saying
before.
today, but I'm saying
I have to like.
You can get a little cheaper on lunch. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Are you pro Better Business Convention Center? By the way, congratulations to Roger Dixon retiring a very historical career over at Mecca.
Yeah.
I mean, what is he, 70?
Is he?
Maybe older.
Yeah.
I will get he's probably 73, 74.
See if I can find it.
But I mean, like him, love him. I mean, whatever you think about Mecca's business, they have established some relationships for what they bring in terms of events. So, congratulations to Mr. Dixon on his retirement. Let me ask you something before we get into this.
Yes, sir.
Are you cheering for ambiance and fandom and businesses, or are you cheering as a sports person in terms of what you want to see?
For the College World Series?
Correct.
So, as a sports person.
Okay, as a sports person.
Yeah.
So let me give you the matchups, and you're just talking strictly as a sports person. And I want to see how it changes if you want business.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Arkansas, Tennessee.
Arkansas.
LSU, West Virginia.
As a sport.
Remember, don't forget, you're a sports person.
I know.
So you're anti-SEC, numbnuts.
Yeah, West Virginia.
Gee, many Christmas. Murray State and Dookie.
Murray State.
UCLA, UTSA.
UTSA.
Auburn and Coastal.
Coastal.
NC and Arizona.
NC.
I don't even need to ask about FSU and Oregon State.
Correct.
All right. Now for the city of Omaha.
Did you give me Miami, Louisville?
Oh, Miami, Louisville. I'm sorry.
I hate Miami, so Louisville.
Okay. All right. Ready? Let's go backwards.
As city of Omaha,
the city of Omaha. I want fans. I want Rocco's to do like.
I'm running for mayor. I want the commerce.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to unseat Ewing. We've got enough Brown.
We'll have to wait a little while.
Yes.
Do that again.
Going to have to chill for a sec. You ready?
I am a lighter shade. Does that matter?
That's close.
Is it pretty close?
Yeah, neck and neck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Fair enough.
Miami, Louisville. For the city.
I think Louisville travels better.
Miami
Miami doesn't.
You can't get a yacht up here.
Coming up to Missouri on their yachts.
Nah.
Yeah, Louisville.
FSU, Oregon State.
I think Oregon Sate travels better.
Okay, that's fair. I like the diplomacy.
I think
you're
do.
growing up
I'm
right
trying.
before my very
trying,
non-seeing eyeballs.
Listen, I'm going to try and be an adult by 40.
Fudge. North Carolina, Arizona.
North Carolina.
Auburn, Coastal.
Probably Auburn.
That's tough.
I just think there's more of them. I think.
Yeah, I'll leave that.
That one's probably closest.
That's tough.
That one's probably closest.
UTSA, LSU, or UCLA. Convention Center, tourism and travel.
Yeah, I don't know how UCLA comes off as pretty disinterested. Their fan base does.
Well, they certainly didn't bring anybody for the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, like a lot of their.
But this is different.
I know a lot of the California teams in general though come off as pretty disinterested. Because Natasha worked at the hotels there for a long time, so she would see a lot of the fan bases and how many people were showing up. A lot of the California teams weren't traveling heavy. I think I'm going to go UTSA there.
Okay. Duke and Murray State.
Duke.
Yeah, I don't know, bud.
You don't think so?
Murray State, first-time potential, they may come in droves, even if it's 200.
Yeah.
You think we're going to get 200 Duke fans to travel that aren't friends and family?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know on that one. That one and the Coastal Auburn one are
This
pretty
one
tough.
certainly isn't close.
LSU
and West Virginia.
Yeah, it's LSU. LSU's coming whether they win or not.
Arkansas and Tennessee. Do you believe in the Omahogs?
So that one's tough. I know Tennessee was just reckless.
Yeah, they were raucous
last year. Raucous and reckless. I've heard some stories. That was an aggressive fan base.
Yeah.
But
didn't they have the fans fornicating on the bench?
I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was video. Oh yeah, I'm almost 100%.
That sounds in line with what I heard.
I mean,
though,
smoked.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing they didn't know one another previously either.
You never know. Maybe they just got caught up in the moment.
Nah, that ain't how that stuff works.
If
you know them, they ain't doing that.
How park benches?
It's more like in the moment.
I wonder, was it one of those that had the dividers so the homeless people can't sleep on them? Because that could get uncomfortable.
No, but that's a lot of germs.
Just got something sticking in your back there.
It's a lot of germs. Not as many as your steering wheel, but a lot of
You think
germs.
they Purell that thing before they? If you got that much alcohol in your system, though, you're sterilized, right? That's how it works?
No.
Oh, shoot. I got to go back and read some textbooks. I think I'm going to go Tennessee, but it's close with Arkansas.
Be interesting.
Yeah. So it's a little different based on who you actually want.
It could be, yeah. It's significantly different.
Yeah, it's probably about half the teams that I'm rooting for as a sports fan are gone.
So you could get are you just going anti-SEC?
Mostly, yeah. I don't hate Arkansas. They don't feel like the type of the SEC that I hate. But in general, it's not even it's just the people that are 13 SEC teams and 14 in the NCAA basketball tournament and blah.
If you're playing the percentages, the ACC was much more impressive. 5 out of 9 versus 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 13.
I'm over this narrative just because they get so many teams in the field. Again, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You tell me they're good, and then they go 500 in conference, so we assume they're still good. Maybe they're all just 500.
I sent you the Joe Klatt thing, right?
The 5-11 thing? Yeah.
Did you catch the part where during their spring meeting, they passed out pamphlets? That
the propaganda
pamphlets?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
He was disgusted.
I mean, it's a thing people do. I get that. But it is a very ACC move because 10 years
SEC?
No, it's an ACC
move.
ACC. Because 10 years ago when I think Florida State had just gotten killed in the playoff by Oregon but they had all these teams in bowl games and stuff. They had commercials. Do you remember the commercials?
Oh yeah.
With all the coaches' faces popping up?
You guys did get drubbed.
Yeah, it was terrible. Awful. Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring up old stuff.
No, it's fine. It happened. But they bring the coaches' faces and they're filming and they're like, this many All-Americans and every team in a bowl game and blah, blah. And so it's a very ACC.
You thought you were watching Animal Farm? By the way, that's pretty deep. That's a sneaky good book.
Yeah, it was a good book. Just a crazy pull.
It's what I think of when I think propaganda.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
I'm sorry. I actually like that book.
I think darker, but it's fine.
Wow.
I mean,
it's okay.
I think propaganda. I think of mustaches, but it's but it's not if you're the top dog, if you're the king of the hill, you probably don't have to pass out pamphlets. You know what I mean?
Like Hank.
Yeah.
You know.
That's not really what Hank sounds like. Bobby, that boy ain't right.
No, Bobby.
Why does he sound like Kermit?
Oh no. No, that's not Kermit.
It's a little high pitched for.
It's not easy being green.
That's pretty good, Kermit.
That's Kermit.
I know. It sounds like you're mixing Hank Hill with Kermit. Yeah, it's a remix.
No. You want to know? Do you want me to tell you how I think it's going to go?
I do want you. I
picked the winners.
Okay. So not as sports fan or Omaha Commerce, just winners.
Yep.
All right. What do we got?
Louisville.
Okay.
Florida State.
Let's go.
North Carolina.
Of course.
Auburn and Coastal's tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Auburn because they're hot.
Coastal's good though.
They are.
Coastal's good.
They are. Boy, that is going to be that's a doozy.
That's a tough one. That's going to be a good one.
So UTSA and UCLA. UTSA is good.
Mm-hmm.
How about their coach beating his chest over? My man, I'm telling you, you keep poo-pooing baseball coaches if you want to. They talk crazy.
I'm not poo-pooing them.
He basically was boo-booing that they beat an NIL pitcher. He was.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I'll take it. It's great.
I'm like, that's pretty petty.
No, I love it.
Well, and they had gone into Austin and won earlier in the season.
Yeah, so they knew, like they weren't scared.
I hate watching UCLA.
You want to take UTSA, I can tell.
I'll keep it safe.
Yeah.
And I'll go UCLA.
Duke Murray.
I'm going to take Duke.
And LSU, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Arkansas, Tennessee.
Arkansas.
There you go.
West Virginia is my dark horse.
Like John Denver?
And they got hammered in the Big 12 Conference by a Kansas team that didn't look very good. So I understand what I'm saying.
They certainly did not.
I understand full well what I'm saying, but West Virginia has some pieces.
Coming up next, Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review.
Joined now by Rich Hill after his debut here in Omaha. Rich, what were the emotions going out there today for you?
It was great to be back out there and competing again. It was a lot of fun. It's been a little while, so I've been working hard to get back, and just thankful for the opportunity. It was overall, it was a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take me through that process of getting with the Kansas City Royals organization and how that all came together.
Yeah, I'd been in touch with a couple guys in the front office, and just the opportunity had come around, and Dave Wallace, who was a pitching coach for us with Team USA this past winter, was a contact, and I had given him a call and asked him if there was any opportunity here with Kansas City, and very fortunate that there was, and really that's how the talk started, and I was throwing bullpens at home and being able to get ready and come out to start.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I just want to congratulate our players too, because they had a heck of a year. sometimes baseball doesn't end the way you want it to, and they certainly would have liked to have played another game. But what they accomplished this year with 43 wins says a lot about them. So I just hope that they don't forget that as they move forward and what they accomplished this year. So it was pretty special to be around them.
Kicking off hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. Reminding you, it's a little nasty out today. Make sure you're driving safe. Keep those eyes focused and straight ahead. Don't get distracted. You've got one job as a driver, that's to drive. That's from the NDOT.
Why do you think
Highway
we
Safety
can't
Office.
drive in the rain? It's not even that bad, but man, it gets foolish.
Well, I'm trying to figure out why Matty DeMarinis can't drive here from Fayetteville.
Yeah, this ought to be good. And I clowned you yesterday. I'm like, it's a 6-hour drive. Why are you worried about his sleeping habits? And he's still in Fayetteville.
Yeah, why aren't you home, bud?
I mean, I wanted to. Well, first of all, I didn't get a lot of sleep on Saturday. Is that when they play? Sunday night? Yeah. And
all running together.
It is all running together, man. and then I was kind of like in the weeds with my final story and everything, and I was trying to make sure it was sharp. So yeah, time got away from me, and then I was like, well, it's probably not a good idea to drive 6 hours on this, so I'll just take the extra day.
Oh,
so
all
I'm
right.
still in Fayetteville. You know what I
But
mean? I thought the logic played. You know what I mean? I thought it was fine. Good morning, by the way. How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Hey, Matty, how are you, bud?
It's no.
We just open up just critical. We're just like the group chat. Just
And
like
I was
carries
just,
over
yeah,
right
I
into,
know,
like,
right? It's like
starting
it's
on each other.
It's no fun being sarcastic when your delivery is so logical.
Right.
It's totally.
That's
you stole all my ammo.
I try to approach that every single day with you guys. Sometimes it works. Sometimes
That's
you guys
what I
still
try
going.
and
You know
do
what I
when
mean?
Jacob's.
Well, nobody's as bad as Jacob.
It's like
No.
I'm trying to avoid just bullets, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm always ready for war with Jacob, no matter what. If I don't even care. I don't even care how he starts the conversation. I'm ready for war. I know he knows something's coming.
Hey, did you, yay or nay on the environment for Arkansas and
Like
the
climate change, or-
Fayetteville in general, a place that I'm fairly familiar with?
Loved it. I thought it was elite. I thought it was one of the best environments I've been in for any sport. I mean, especially Sunday night. I'll give you guys, Saturday wasn't. I didn't feel the urgency from the fan base on Saturday, but it was 12-1. So maybe they were thinking, okay, job's done, but job's not finished. You know what I mean?
And easy for those guys to fast forward to. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Like I think Saturday was more of like a social gathering, if you will. And then Sunday, though, the concourse was packed out. I mean, they weren't really. I mean, there were some in the bleachers, but they weren't really hanging there, and they were just heckling Creighton crazy. I mean, way worse than Saturday. You could tell the teeth came out. They knew that they were. They had the opportunity to punch their ticket to the Supers, so that was different. So yeah, I thought they were, Omaha final series locked in on Sunday night, and boy, that Tennessee Super with how like
That is going to be nasty, isn't it?
oh my, I'm like tempted to just stay because
So Ravi thought you might do that.
You might be just
he
staying
thought
for the
you might
Super.
do that.
that's a long hotel though.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time in Arkansas for sure. But I'm so giddy about that series because you know how, Tennessee's always ready to pop off, and that might be the best Super of next weekend because of how much heat's gonna be
environment
involved.
or competitiveness.
Both. I mean, the pitching staffs are like,
I don't love Tennessee, but
the
I
pitching
do love.
staffs are going to be dialing it up. Like they're going to be throwing heat. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be fired up. And then both offenses in that park. Whew. Guys, that park is tiny.
Yeah, I know you were kind of
bitty.
disappointed.
It just is what it is. I kind of understand that college baseball, that's how it is, especially down the further south you get. I think I just laughed because when I was 13 and 14 playing rec ball, my dimensions were 325, 405, 325. You know what I mean? Like, and then we come to these SEC parks with like guys who are one step away from the pros, and it's just like, yeah, just poke at it and it'll fly. Like, okay, that's the way you guys roll. Good luck with your ERAs.
Yeah, I was watching some of the balls leave the yard in Chapel Hill, and I was like, It's almost kind of just the opposite for me. I was like, God, that had to be pretty well struck because I like the what's the word I'm looking for? The dimensions of the ballpark in Chapel. But I agree with you. Fayetteville is small.
Little bandbox.
So you're watching this thing, Matty, and I get it. It's a loss. It was whatever it was, 8-3 Phylon. Bless your heart for texting through the whole game practically, which I'm like, this dude is amazing. But hard to come away feeling disappointed with the loss. The competitor in me hates saying that. It doesn't feel right. I don't like it. Even when it's my own team or a team I'm coaching, I'm like, hey, man, we took an L. Like, there's no more victories. But I felt like the way that game ended versus what Creighton was dealing with, it didn't feel like a loss.
I think you can look at it from a few different perspectives. I think you can absolutely look at it the way you're approaching it from the competitor standpoint. And I didn't get a whole lot of footage of it because I was kind of focused on Ed, but that final out was really, really emotional for the guys in baby blue. I mean, they were, Ben North barely took 2 feet away from the batter's box. He was kind of, pretty upset. And I don't remember who consoled him. I think maybe Sailors. But yeah, there was a few guys that really, really were slow getting off the field because there were 2 on base. I think that was, the finality of the fact that they had probably played their last game together for a lot of them for sure was pretty emotional. So they felt that. They felt the sting that you're talking about for sure. And then there's the other side of it where you're absolutely right. From a logical standpoint, you essentially, you beat Kansas when you were the underdog, and then you bounce North Dakota State in a thriller to kind of give yourself a second crack at Arkansas. And so if all you're really telling yourself this weekend was all that you were, the only way, the way you fell short this weekend in Fayetteville was you just weren't good enough to beat the current betting favorite to win the national championship. I think, as competitive as they are, the logic has to jump in there eventually and say, if that's what stopped us, if that's how it ends, I think you should be able to live with that a little bit easier because Arkansas is a wagon. They played extremely well this weekend. And, not only that, but, the betting markets think they're the favorite right now. So, there's no shame in not being good enough to deal with that. They beat Kansas, they beat North Dakota State. They played well this weekend. They just ran up against a better team. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I do wonder, that element of realism that kind of creeps into some of these situations, right? Because
finality sucks.
It does, and it's even more final with obviously the Ed Service part of the equation for the program in general. I know the players, kind of their situation is what it is, but for the program and for the university, obviously there's that added layer. Did you feel? I know this was sort of an awkward season with the coaching dynamics with Ed and Kingston and wasn't exactly the Greg McDermott, Al Huss kumbaya.
He almost got emotional talking. I was very proud. I don't know if you heard our interview with Coach Servais.
He almost went there.
You could tell it was a very difficult season for him, and he was about as open as Ed could be without spilling the tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a few different things running through my mind all year with that. Even when they announced that it was going to happen, I thought, wow.
There was a chance the season could kind of get away from them just
100%,
awkward it is, right?
100%.
Well, how many times it was hard during the interview?
Yeah, a lot.
It's like, hey, I appreciate the question. And I was like, ooh, when he said that, I knew he wanted us to know
how challenging
it was.
I asked him 2 years ago when they missed the conference tournament on the last day because it was between them and they were playing UConn and Georgetown was playing Xavier, and there was still kind of an outside chance that Creighton could have made it, but they just got shellacked by UConn on senior day. It was like 10-0. It was they were not. That was not their best performance, especially with what was at stake. And I asked him flat out, like, when will you know that it's time for a change or time for you to move on to the next phase or whatever. And his thing then, first of all, Ed Servais doesn't come off this way. But he has a lot of belief in himself. Like, he is a super confident dude.
Yep.
Thinks he knows the game inside and out and feels like he can manage until he dies. So that's a big part of it, because he doesn't feel like he's at the end of his abilities. It's just that the hourglass is kind of running dry. You know what I mean? Like, he is, his family, kind of wants him to be around more. He's getting older. He's had health scares in the past that are, you just don't know. So that's part of it. But the other part of it was, he always felt like as long as he wasn't able to give the players the best experience, that would be his sign that it's time to go. And I think he felt like he was still doing that to the best of his abilities, even in his prime. So to him, falling short the last couple of years was just, circumstantial, and that he felt like this group could break through. So I think the whole situation was really difficult for him, because I think he felt like this group could be special, and that, introducing a few more cooks into the kitchen could probably, mess it up a little bit. And the fact that it was a final year for him, there was a lot of pressure to, however this ends is how it ends. You're not going to get a second crack at it. There is no further negotiations happening. Like, this is the situation. You have one more year. You have to make the most of it. And after that, you're done, no matter what. So I think there was a lot of pressure that way that probably didn't make for the most enjoyable season. However, I hope that he's able to, once the dust settles a little bit, and once he kind of settles into, whatever he's doing next, I hope that he's able to kind of appreciate, what he was able to accomplish this year with those group of guys, especially because I think the coolest part of this whole deal was the fact that in this day and age, and you guys know that I'm, all in favor of portal movement and, earning what your market value says you're worth from a player standpoint. I do feel for coaches in some respect that they can't, put their head on the pillow at night and feel like, there isn't something crazy coming in the morning. So from that standpoint, I think it's super cool that Nolan Sailors, Kyle Hess, Ben North, Tate Gillen, Dominic Cancellieri, like all those guys decided to kind of come back for each other, for Ed. And when you see the season they had on top of it, that's a pretty special team and kind of a pretty special story. And I hope that, Ed is kind of going to eventually be at peace with how this ended, even though he probably would wake up tomorrow, and if he had his way, he could still be the coach of the Creighton Blue Jays, coming up in the fall.
I don't want to lament too much. I want to take advantage of the supers and little NBA and maybe even some comic books. But
can we go back and talk about Oregon, Florida State? That was a good topic, I thought.
Yeah, let me ask you something real quick, Maddie, because you're as ingrained and entrenched and as ride or die as anyone that I know not named Rob Anderson. Maybe Ras. It's close.
That's crazy.
So you moved on. We've moved on from Ras. Obviously Kirsten has moved on. Ed is obviously moving on. Coach Mac's window is very short. You've still got the great guys, ambassadors like Johnny Torres, who is Mr. Community and everything. You've got one of my faves in Flan. Have you allowed yourself to kind of process the whole family cohesive thing and how you're quietly transitioning through it as a guy that has followed all the programs through and through?
It's kind of funny because I've said this multiple times, kind of in joking in the past. I was like, whenever they're done, I'll probably go do something else too, because I just don't want. I don't know if I would. I don't know if it would feel the same, But then they decided to, everything happened so fast, and Kirsten's thing I thought was a couple years away at least.
Me too.
And then all of a sudden, I was just driving home from a baseball game and it popped up. So Max, I could feel like the window was obviously closing. I think he still has probably more years than a lot of people are guessing right now. I'm seeing 2 as a popular number, and it wouldn't shock me if he breezes past that. I think the thing
it would shock me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you might be right. I think the thing
I
with
think
Huss
there's
was
more
more
people
about.
that think that it's 1 than 3.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Oh, Mr. ACC honk in terms of championship playoff format.
I mean,
closer to 1 than 3.
I think the Huss thing was more about get him before someone else does.
Oh, for sure.
But I do think, Maddie, I think Huss would have chilled. I think he would have waited.
Think so?
He has such a good setup.
I would say high
point. They were paying him well.
Job.
He had more talent than anybody in that conference. I mean, he was going dancing every year.
Yeah, but also there was going to be some bags dropped off at his front door that he was going to have a hard time turning away too. So
yeah, if it's right in front of you, if it's always harder to say no.
That's what I mean.
When the briefcase is open on your desk, you're like, oh wow, that is a lot of money.
I mean, that was the Rosen Kirsten thing. Was like, hey, my alma mater's like, really after me here. Is it time, or should I just go do my thing? Eventually you just hit a point where you're like, yeah, we got to pull the trigger, or else we're gonna lose the contingency plan, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's really tough. I was kind of joking a little bit this weekend. I was like, yeah, I retired 3 coaches and I sent the other one to the exit door. When you look at it, but yeah, it is going to be a transition for Creighton for sure, and that's why I've been telling people for the last few years, like, enjoy this, because I feel like it's extremely remarkable that Creighton has as much going right now athletically across the board as they do, considering just what they're managing in terms of finances and kind of their profile, and being a private institution with a sub 10,000 enrollment. It's crazy that their baseball team's in a regional final. Men's basketball is winning a tournament game every year at minimum. Women's basketball has been a stalwart, every year in the NCAA tournament with this last class. You have volleyball on fire right now. Obviously, like rev share, whenever that stuff finally gets greenlit and finalized, I think there's a lot of confidence within the walls of Creighton's athletic department that they feel like they're positioned pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of confidence from multiple programs that they're going to be.
I mean, how many peers will they have in the conference? St. John and Connecticut?
I mean, athletically across the board.
I'm talking about with the rev share and how they can do the
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about UConn, because they gotta figure out how to keep that football program afloat. But yeah, like
they bypassed it before, Maddie. I don't know how much they care.
Yeah, I hear you, but it's always a thing every year with them. So I've never fully.
You
trusted
did make
it.
another run at it with Mora, and then part 2.
There-
I'll entertain that they would like to. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
I'll give you that. But yeah, Creighton seems like they're best positioned to be the best athletics program in the Big East right now with the way they're going. There's just so much consistency across the board, and I think they have hired well. Like, I know there's a lot of angst about what the post booth volleyball situation looks like, but I think Rosen's a great coach. He's been a successful head coach before. He was obviously a successful assistant. Angie's still on board, Adam's still on board. Like, there's not the only loss is Kirsten, and while I'll give you that's a massive one, I think they're still positioned well to kind of hit the ground running and take shots at where they were aiming last year as well. So yeah, the ones that's kind of up in the air right now is what happens to soccer, because I just feel like that sport is kind of getting buried a little bit in this country, and I just don't know if you're trying to figure out how to allocate resources towards what you can achieve at the highest level. I'm just not sure how enticing soccer is at this point. So obviously baseball, volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, those 4 sports for Creighton, those are like probably 4 of the 5 most popular sports in the country outside of football, right? So Creighton kind of sees where they're positioned right now, momentum wise, in terms of the success they've had recently in those sports. And they probably think like, let's make a push there and see what we can get out of that in terms of reaching goals that maybe have been attained already or, are still kind of right in front of us. So I think that's where they're at right now. I understand the coaching turnover is probably creating a lot of angst within the fan base and maybe even some within the athletic department, just kind of wondering what if.
Maddie,
But I also think they're also in a good position where they're leaving off too.
Why are you down on soccer nationally when it appears to be super popular?
That doesn't. It's the college part though. The college game.
Yeah, people are just fast forward. Yeah, I get it.
People
Like
skip
there's
college
big.
soccer.
Yeah. It's not there still hasn't been a correlation between the professional side of it and college side of it. I don't know what the reason is. But
which is just the opposite on the women's side, which is for the women. It's like soccer. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and I think women's soccer, you still see the investment paying off. Men's soccer is crazy volatile. Like Marshall won a natty a couple of years ago. What was the natty this year? Vermont versus
yeah.
Who played? It was not two powerhouses. It was Vermont versus someone else. Right? I can't remember who they played.
Anyway.
Either way, it wasn't programs that have been putting in a lot of resources towards soccer. It was it's moving in a direction where you just can't really predict what's going down. And while it's probably good for the sport within the sport, it's just not. It's kind of hard.
It was Marshall again, Maddie.
Okay, see, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to peg it down, and I don't mean to.
I mean, everybody knows the catamounts and the herd, baby.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
household
for sure,
all over the place.
Household names.
Yeah, 100%.
I got something for you. Why does I want to go to the supers, right? Because I think you're going to configure ballparks, and clearly, I did not realize how much you're into college baseball until I can just say random things in the group text, and you're like,
and I'm right back at you.
Yes. He's trying to make you were trying to make the case that Arkansas, Tennessee may be the most competitive, and it might be. Certainly the environment, but man,
Oregon State, Florida State.
Yes,
that's gonna be pretty good.
Like
Oregon State, Florida State's gonna be pretty good.
What are you doing with the Seminoles and the Beavers?
I love Florida State. I think they're really, really put together. I think they're put together really well. But they are 1-5 in supers that aren't in Tallahassee historically. So that's a tough trip. It's not their normal path to Omaha, and I just wonder.
And Corvallis is dicey.
I just don't. Yeah, and you know what I mean. I don't know.
I'm not excited. I was mad about the draw.
It's just tough.
Like I feel like Florida State deserved the 8th seed, but they didn't get it, so that puts them in a weird position. So. Yeah, I just watched Tennessee I probably watched that regional more than any other this weekend. It was tough for me to see.
But nobody has as much variance as a well-perceived team than Tennessee. Like they could easily get run ruled.
Agreed.
Like
I have no.
It's a weird team.
I have no rebuttal to that. All I know is like they can bring in multiple guys who are slinging 97 to 100, and when you can do that, and this is a weird time of year. I just think Arkansas, Tennessee is going to have so much fire behind it, and there's already been tension in that series this season, and I just expect it to be. I expect it to be on 20 this weekend. So
over under 4.5 innings before Doyle punches somebody. Or
oh my God. Yeah, man.
Oh,
that's what
I may take the under. If you're talking about an altercation, I'm taking the under.
You know what's something that's crazy to me about just watching college baseball is I can't believe that the game polices hitter extracurriculars, if you will, as much as they do, as strictly as they do, like suspending guys for game ones of supers because they celebrated with their teammates. Like, but then you watch pitchers that are flat out just like mother F-bombing.
Hey, how about the pirouettes and cheering coming off the mound?
I mean, bro, I thought Liam Doyle was going to run in the other dugout and swing. Like half the time he threw it. Like every time he struck somebody out, I thought he was going to go punch a coach on the other side of the field. Like,
I mean, can we talk about the Mississippi State guy that ended up getting Link Jarrett run?
Oh yeah.
Like, he is walking like towards the plate and telling a guy to go F himself.
pitchers get way more. Pitchers get way more leash on just like
trash check swing call. By the way,
so I've been saying this
that blows me away
for the last couple of weeks, Matty. And I think, and it's a good time to talk about it because a lot of people are watching and can compare and contrast. So
they're watching softball right now.
I don't have to feel like I'm talking to myself. And when I say to Ravi, "Hey, did you watch?" and he's like, "No, blah blah blah."
I was watching tennis this weekend. By the way, the worst component of the tennis conversation was that Nebraska was getting its teeth kicked in at the time. And whenever that happens, you always ghost us because you don't want to hear us be snarky. So you were checked out. And
yes, we were like talking to ourselves.
And Jacob are going off on tennis, and I was like, Damon, can you hop back in here and talk baseball, please? Like, save me, man. I was on my own because you were just like in your feels, and I'm just like, hey, let's talk about something else.
Listen, I almost had to. It was what 11:50 on Sunday, and I was like, man, I might need I may have to go sit on the deck with a little shorty and some ice.
That Sheldon
seriously
was just such high level shot making.
Oh. So let me. Why do you think, Matty? Because I think softball is incredibly competitive. The crazy ants. I mean, if you watched anything that Pickens did on the mound.
I'll say, I think, did Doyle and Pickens like practice their crap talking together, or
but
what?
For some reason, or how about we were just talking about the
Florida
young lady
girl
from Florida.
I couldn't find the video for you, Maddie, but it was.
I've got it, Maddie. I'll send it to you.
It was unreal.
Like that's cool. We let that ride. It's super good entertainment. It's one of the better sports to watch on TV. The men, the last 2 years, whether it's bat flipping or celebrating or guys getting tossed, they've really tried to crack down, and it's almost worse now. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you think they allow the differences between the level of excitement and I guess sportsmanship?
Yeah,
is so different between the two.
How do I touch this without?
I know you have to talk about gender, right?
Yes, I feel like it's flat out misogyny, like to a little bit. Like, I just think they don't think women are going to throw hands. So, like,
I'm just saying,
I honestly think, I truly believe this, and I think they think women will just like they'll get to a point and then it won't go any further. I think they've seen enough brawls in baseball where they're like, yeah, we better check this up because there's way too much testosterone flying around right now. I think that's it. I don't think it goes any further than that logically.
I'm telling you though, some of it is the model behavior from the coaches because
baseball coaches are out of pocket.
Coaches,
we talked about that this weekend
whether
too.
in college and pro, they're out of control.
The worst. I heard your topic. I heard your conversation yesterday with Sam, and it's not.
I don't even see how you put football in the.
I'm close, in my opinion. Not even close. I don't think
baseball.
I think football. I think football coaches can talk crazy, but I always feel like you just chalk it up to them being crazy. Like baseball coaches, I mean, the way they talk to umps, the way they talk to each other, and the way they talk to the media, I always feel like baseball coaches are like 6 seconds away from being arrested.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, seriously.
I did say
that baseball... Ding Dong is over here going with football.
No.
I'm like, Ravi, there's no way.
So I think
you can combine the worst of basketball, football, whatever other sport, and baseball still tops it on its own.
I did say that the baseball guys go further and crazier than all of them. I just think
more frequently too. They're just ready to go.
Are you watching any of the video of Sully?
Man, like what a psychopath.
And he's been nuts for a long time. So yeah. The prize, but these were like neutral third parties.
He's not even like top 3 in his conference of crazies, though.
Seriously, dude, that's what I'm saying, man.
Absolutely,
yeah.
That dude's bonkers.
It used to as a kid, you know, when you're younger, you're like, oh, that's kind of entertaining watching someone just blow their stack over, you know, whatever it is, and then you get to be an adult and you start to introduce like deductive reasoning into your daily process, and you're just like, gosh, I can't believe a single check swing call made him say the F word 17 times in a row to an umpire in his face.
They got to figure out the check swing thing, though. I
at least need you to appeal.
That's
like,
what, but I mean, like, it doesn't even go from like a conversation. It goes from like a what, and you have to like, you know what I mean? It just like immediately pops off. And I'm like, where was the transition from?
So can I say
calm to psychopath? It just went immediately psycho. It's like, what happened here?
Can I just say, I think part of it between softball and baseball is baseball people are so precious about baseball, and I don't think that extends to softball. Like the way that could be played and
I don't
doing
know,
things
man.
the right way.
Ask softball parents. They got a little.
Yeah,
soccer gatekeeping to them.
I'm seeing a lot of softball conversations that are pretty pearl clutchy. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everybody, no one in the world is like happy about Texas Tech right now because they went the NIL route to kind of build their World Series team right here.
Yeah.
And the fact that they knocked off, the darlings of the sport.
So are you vibing with me that Oklahoma's dynasty was actually likable because of Patty?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Because he asked me, he's like, "Why is my timeline being flooded with Oklahoma stuff?" And I'm like, I actually don't think people mind that Oklahoma's good.
So do people?
Yeah, they're really highly revered. Yeah, for sure. Everybody loved that dynasty for sure.
Do people think that all the Oklahoma players are playing for free?
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying the whole time. Is like.
Like I'm just trying to figure out here, like what's the because Texas Tech is.
I'm watching all the Texas Tech dialogue, and I'm just like, they're playing a team that basically wrote that
said
rule
he's
book,
like
right?
for years.
I was gonna say,
I'm
pretty sure Oklahoma's doing it was before you were allowed to.
1,000%. Yeah, like they wrote the rule book that Texas Tech used to get candidate. Like
but
that's
now
what happened.
Like since Texas Tech just started doing it, we're mad at them. Like I don't understand this at all.
I mean, it doesn't help that the College World Series is played in Oklahoma's backyard. Like
it's a home field advantage every College World Series.
Yeah, like there's no one's
like if Nebraska.
I wouldn't be if between Texas and Texas Tech playing in that final. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a protest outside the stadium of just like OU fans going crazy.
We're gonna get away from the Better Business Conventions Bureau and tourism and travel. We're just gonna pick winners.
Okay.
We're gonna go rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah.
Louisville and the Canes.
Louisville.
Beavers and Knowles.
Oh man, sorry, Robbie Beavers.
All right, I understand.
Tar Heels and Wildcats.
North Carolina.
Auburn and Coastal.
Give me Coastal.
I'm going back and forth. All right, UTSA and UCLA.
UTSA.
They're good.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I thought Austin was easy. and then UTSA ruined it all, man. I thought Austin was a cakewalk.
Duke and Murray State.
Gosh, I didn't see a lot of Duke this weekend. I love Murray State.
I get the hesitation.
I'll take Murray State. Doing Ole Miss like that was really impressive, I thought. So give me Murray State.
West Virginia and LSU.
West Virginia, I kind of think like they, yeah. I'm getting on your bandwagon a little bit. They were really good this weekend.
All right, Arkansas and Tennessee.
Arkansas.
Huh. All right.
They were the best team all weekend that I saw.
So we
many
that would set up. You could potentially, now we got a lot of baseball left. You could potentially get a Carolina Arkansas final.
That'd be a good final.
I think that's where we're headed. I really do.
So Maddie, tell me real quick here, how many of those that you picked you think could go the other way pretty easily?
4.
Three.
Florida State, Oregon State. I think can go the other way. Miami,
Coastal
Louisville,
Auburn.
I think is a toss up, and then Coastal Auburn is my third one. I think can go the other way.
Okay, so you don't.
Other than that, I feel pretty good about the rest of them.
You don't think LSU could win?
They could.
God, their bullpen's just.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then I think Jared Jones hit a homer last night, so maybe he snaps out of it. But
what about?
I don't know. It's stained, buddy. It's been a while.
What about?
I know he was in a bad funk. So Little Rock pushed him real hard.
Tennessee is better than they are.
No, I think they could put it together for 2 out of 3 games.
Because Wake isn't good.
You don't think Tennessee could beat Arkansas? I'm just asking. I'm not.
Not if Arkansas plays at the level they played at this weekend.
Okay.
I mean, Gage Wood, 13 Ks in 6 innings.
Hey, you talk about a guy doing pirouettes.
And then
guys, it's not even just like that. It's not even just the fastball velo. It's like they Kyle has talked about it in the post game. Like they slot the off speed out of the same slot as the fastball. So you're going from 96, 97, 98 out of the same arm slot as 78 to 85 if it's a change-up or a curve. Like they're tough to get a read on.
And it's that
pitching
sweet
wise.
too, so it runs.
And then
Yeah, like
can UCLA win?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't. Yeah, they can. I
Like
think that's a
4
toss-up region a
or
little bit.
5 that could go either way.
I gotta look
Yeah.
at the prices.
Well, I'm just curious.
I think UTSA looks like they're playing really well right now. You know what I mean? Like that's
I'm just
that's
trying
the
to
thing.
gauge
And
the
they're confident.
I was trying to gauge
Yeah,
the overall competitiveness of the super regional field.
I'm pretty confident in my picks.
Okay.
The way I went with them. I know some of them I hesitated a little bit, but I was just kind of thinking about all the variables. But yeah, I think I'm pretty confident in my picks.
Okay.
All right, let me get you out on this. They're catching 9 on Thursday, and people think the Pacers are an afterthought, and they just keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
Good defense, beat good offense here.
I think they're running into the better version of themselves in this series, so I could see a competitive sweep.
30 brooms.
Yeah,
it'll be weird to watch.
But you know
OKC.
what? In the fourth quarter, if it's a game, like you always know, Indy. I think Indy has the better. I think Indy has been sharper in crunch time than anybody in these playoffs. I think OKC has a little bit of a front runner's mentality to them.
I'll say OKC get a little dicey late.
And
yes,
like it's weird, but the Pacers are actually the more experienced team with Carlisle and Siakam and. But they can't have those 2 duds of a games that Halliburton had. Like he's going to have to be.
He's going to do every night.
Yep.
Every
exactly.
Night.
Yeah.
It'll be weird to watch Pacers lose games if they do, in which they score in like the 115, 120 range, because these totals are going to be anywhere from like 230 to 235.
You could get like
what's the first one?
I think it's 231, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty high.
It seems high, doesn't it?
231 and a half.
Especially with the way both those teams have kind of been guarding. I think that's the funny thing is they both kind of create offense with their defense. So we could see kind of a funny game if they're both able to force turnovers, because we could just see we could see a track meet real quick in this series.
I know one thing. If Neesmith thought it was hard to not foul Brunson, boy, he's gonna pull his hair out with SGA.
We were talking about that all last month. We're like, we cannot get an SGA Brunson finals, please. Like it cannot happen. Like we can't see that. It can't be just like these games will be 3.5 hours if we get that.
Of what was on the table, is this the most appealing finals matchup?
Oh, probably no.
I agree.
No, because I mean, Knicks versus anybody would have been.
I mean, stylistically, not market-wise. Like in terms of just what the basketball.
Oh, like ball knowers. You know what I mean? Like
what the basketball.
Oh yeah. No. I think it's a elite series basketball-wise. I'm gonna love it.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys feel.
If you like points per possession, get your calculator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. No, there's gonna be some special creativity going on with these teams. I'm excited for it for sure.
All right, last one. It's not a loaded one, I promise, because I know you'll be objective. Who wins the AFC South?
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Why do you hate your own team?
Oh, says the guy that talks about the Dodgers every day. My God.
Did you not see what the Mets did to them last night?
Talked about that? How many times have you even talked about the Steelers since the draft? Don't tell me I hate my own team.
I do.
You dislike your teams more than anybody I've ever met.
Facts, dude.
I do hate the Lakers.
If the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers,
I don't like LeBron. I don't like. Luka.
I do hate the Lakers.
I don't like Shohei. I don't like.
That's why we got along so well.
I don't have a quarterback. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Get it.
You don't like a
single
Robbie. Player that plays for any of your teams.
Didn't even like Kobe either.
And you got some. Yeah, it took you a decade and a half to like Kobe.
Okay, let's not. It took me 7 years. Only 7 years to like Kobe.
Didn't you say 2011?
No, I pulled out the list.
Oh, okay.
No, it took 7.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you were sharing your top 10 list or whatever. I was listening to that on the way to Fayetteville. Your top 10 list of favorite athletes, and I'm like, barely any of these dudes play for his own team. Like, they don't.
He hates his own team more than anyone I've met. It's
like all my top 10 is like guys that are played on teams. I know. I'm like
Pedro,
his top 10 is like
Steph.
yeah. There were some rivals in there. Like what the?
I've never loved a rival.
You almost talked yourself into a few though when you were doing it. I was like, "What's he doing? Where's he going with this?"
Ed Reed was pushing it.
I was gonna say
That's what I'm saying.
Ed Reed.
Yeah, you mentioned a few.
John Taylor never played for anybody I care about, but I love it.
But the Redskins, when he was playing for them, it was harmless.
I know, but like half your list was Miami guys.
It's not true.
Facts, dude. It was.
No, it was Sean Taylor.
Edgerrin James, Clinton
he wasn't on my faves.
No,
He's
but
one
he's
of
your
my
favorite running back of all time.
No, he's in my top 5.
And so is Clinton Portis.
10.
Okay. A lot of Miami guys.
Don't forget McGahee.
A lot of Miami guys. The only one he's out on is Najee Davenport. The only one.
Yeah.
You know why?
I don't
Because
like.
he played for
I was surprised.
I don't
he
like
didn't mention
fat
some
backs.
dudes that he played. I was surprised he didn't mention some dudes he played against halfway through it. I'm like, he's gonna start naming dudes he went up. He I tackled him or something in a minute.
What is good? You're usually my wingman. You're like Maverick. What's going on?
Because it surprised
I feel
me.
like you're a lot like Goose now.
Well, I'm just, don't hit the canopy too early on me here. Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. R.I.P. Goose.
Wow.
Talk to me, Goose.
Wow.
Talk to me, Goose.
I just want you to know I'll be traumatized. When are you leaving?
In a minute. I want to talk to you guys first.
It's an easy 6, right? I mean, you'll be fine.
I was fine with it until Robbie said it's scary out in Omaha. What's going on? What do you guys got going down?
Rain.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's not scary.
Rain.
It was a little rainy out this morning.
You started warning drivers to be safe, and I'm like, you haven't seen Omaha drivers in any conditions, bro. They're never going to be safe.
NDOT,
That's
man.
why they literally have to pay us to tell people to drive.
I know. Seriously. It's true. I was like, is he just doing this because he knows how Omaha people drive, or is he doing this because like there's
their contract
conditions
ended
to worry
like
about?
6 months. No, it's a public service announcement for
He
me.
reads it at 10:59 because he knows he's about to hit the road. Like, hey, everybody, drive safe out there. I'm on the way home. Like, come on.
Please
Let's
don't
work it
kill
together.
me.
Protect me.
Just trying to get home to let the dogs out.
I got 10 minutes. Keep it together, everybody.
Be safe, Maddie. I'm sure we'll be on the phone here later.
100%. Thanks,
all right,
fellas.
buddy.
See you soon.
Hey, have a safe drive, bud. We'll talk to you later.
I don't.
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue
I
Review.
feel like that's overstated.
I don't think it is.
I don't hate everybody on my own team.
You dislike almost all your best players.
It's not true. You paint me into this corner like I dislike Ohtani. I don't dislike him.
You didn't want to sign him.
I didn't want to have him in the GOAT of all time status already. So I was given a little pushback.
And you didn't want to sign him?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's a very good baseball player. You did not want on your team.
I've come around on Freeman. And you got to remember, bud, from 90s, when Kobe first got there to Shaq leaving, I was torn between two lovers.
Mm-hmm.
So I kicked Shaq out, and I took Kobe in. Once Kobe started winning titles on his own without Shaq, it was a no-brainer.
So it's a what have you done for me lately situation.
No, it was a prove it thing. Like if you're riding with me, I got you. But if like you're just gonna do your own individual thing,
did Shaq do anything in LA without Kobe?
Heck no.
Okay.
I'm out on Shaq. But I'm not a Shaq. You see how he stepped on Ernie the other night? I'm out on Shaq.
You gotta be nice to Ernie. We love Ernie.
I'm out.
We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Brother goes to Nebraska. How much of a pull is that for you?
That's a big pull because, I mean, me and Donnie grew up playing for the same organizations our whole life, and then it's like we're teammates our whole life. So it'd be amazing to play with them, and it's like be with them again.
But that won't be the end-all, be-all for you.
No, I won't, because I mean, there's other decisions like that will make it, because then I would already commit by now. But so it's like I'm still thinking about, okay, yeah, I can play with him, but also there's other things that I don't know if I want to go to or not. So it's just all gonna be a decision.
Mm-hmm. What is so let's walk through each one of those schools, right? So Iowa State or Minnesota's first.
Yep.
So this weekend, What do you like about Minnesota so far?
Minnesota, I like so far was like they were one of like the first Big Ten schools to talk to me and offer me, so I felt really good to me. And then Coach Collins has been there since the beginning, and he met my family. And then when I went up there the first time for a spring visit, it really just like, blew my mind because I mean I've never been to Minnesota before. And it was just amazing going there and just like seeing the culture, and then meeting Coach Fleck, how like amazing a guy he is. And there's like more to him than just like the fame that everyone else sees. So then I'm really excited to just go back up again and just like really talk to both those coaches, and then even more coaches.
Mm-hmm. 7-on-7 season is here, I guess, if you will, and you've been doing that. What's next for you kind of this summer, or what kind of camps and things do you want to do?
June 6th, we up at Nebraska for the Adidas tournament, so that's the next thing. That's what my head's at right now.
What about anything planned or want to go to after that?
I want to play OT7, so I've been talking with a few people to get to play OT7.
People recruiting you as a safety or corner, or
most schools are recruiting me to play safety.
Yeah, that's your natural position, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, about this Central team, and it's just June. We had this camp today. What do you like so far about this group?
I love, we got a new player from Bell West, Caprice, and he kind of helped put the team together a little bit. He make it able so we can like spread out our guys on the field a lot. So our defense is one thing like I feel real good about.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and reminding you, Centris has you covered no matter what you're looking for. Even if it's just a regular old debit card, you can tap, pay, and get on your way with Centris Federal Credit Union. When you open a checking account at Centris, you get a free Centris Visa debit card as well. But it's more than just your regular debit card. It's the top of your wallet way to pay for everyday purchases. Go check it out, centrisfcu.org, to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA.
You know what I'm looking for?
What's that?
I tell you exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for screenshots of the three of your guys' interaction just on the group text.
Me and Maddie?
Yeah. That's got to be just fantastic stuff.
And don't forget, young Jakob is on there too.
Dude, he comes in with like flamethrowers.
Yeah.
He comes in hot.
For probably the nicest of the bunch.
Oh, he's without a doubt, like in person, the nicest of all of us. He is the meanest in the group chat. Not even close.
I agree.
Yeah. Like the dichotomy is unreal.
Did you watch any of...
But he did explain it, though. He said he grew up on message boards, and so like he texts like a message board.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And I like the fact
it helps the context, too.
And he covers he has a lot of things that I employ.
Yeah.
I just do them verbally.
Yeah.
Because, he can write and take time so he can process, but I'm a quick processor, so
You do it like out loud.
Real time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I just have to let him ride with because it's like, well, you can't really argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to start with the stance that he's taken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just got to let him go.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you watch Fisher hit? What are these guys doing out here? Do they need something?
I have no idea.
Maybe there's an event and we missed it.
I have no idea.
Hey, did you watch Fisher's home run against Wake from Tennessee?
Yes.
Did you see Wake Forest's coach?
No, I don't think so.
It was like Mumbaloki, except you could actually read every other F-bomb as Fisher's like. He looked like Mikhail Nebaryshnikov going around the bases.
Just the spinning and the.
I mean, it was crazy. He's jumping around, and I'm like, and Wake's coach is just going ham in the dugout.
Yeah.
And the camera keeps going to him.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible.
And he's like, effing this and effing that and this MF. And I mean, every other word. And I'm like, you guys, don't we need to be better?
You mean the broadcast or the coach or both?
Just, I don't know how you guys can say that baseball is more civil from a coaching meltdown standpoint than football. It's not.
I didn't say it was more civil.
There's nothing civil about baseball.
I couldn't tell what he had said until I had to read through all the comments.
Listen, expletive after expletive.
Yes.
I do think that
I'm going to find it.
I do think that baseball coaches lose their minds on the field way more than football coaches. Way more.
Bam.
I think it's more the it switched off on me. I do think there's
and it went back to Doyle. I don't want to see that wackadoodle.
I do think there's more press conference like one-liner famous ones from football coaches.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because mine, when you asked the question, I thought press conferences.
I mean, look at them just go bananas,
Yeah.
right? Jumping, spinning, fist bumping, like look at
running
this.
backwards.
Look.
Oh, I think he said another F word in there.
There's multiple. They'll keep going back to them.
No, I think
the other one.
Yes. I think he did.
Well, I think probably because how he was. Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, like that's aggressive.
I'm telling you.
That was rough.
See?
My thing is
you just gotta watch. It's crazy.
I was thinking press conferences when you asked the question.
Well, they're bad too.
I know, but I see way more of the football.
Go watch
ones.
UTSA's presser.
Like I see way more of the football press conference, and so in my head, those live more prominently.
Yeah.
On the field stuff, I've never seen like obviously you get your like Bo Pelini meltdowns every once in a while and stuff like that, but I've never seen people go like full into character the way baseball coaches do on the field. Like it is like on the field, you're 100% right. But I intake way more football press conferences than I do baseball ones.
That's what you get for making fun of the fact that I like press conferences.
No, it's just you.
I watch them.
You probably have a better gauge on.
And I know from Cole's rules that's cool. I can watch pressers.
Yeah, pressers.
So what am I? Okay, so pressers. Pressers are good.
He hasn't said anything about pressers, but I'm not going to fight on pressers.
Okay.
You're just going to have to understand that I'm not going to watch it.
It has to be on like one of the letter networks. FS1, FS2, SPN.
Yeah, like if
is he cool with ESPNU?
Yeah, I think if it's on.
He's probably right about the Ocho though.
Yeah, I think if it's on like Flow Sports, you're going to have to give me a pass.
I'm a big Flow guy.
I know. You're going to have to give me a pass if it's on
Okay.
Flow Sports.
Okay.
If it's on, I think
movies, I'm terrified because.
Oh, there's no.
You look at me and I'm like, why did you watch?
Yeah, because I'm not watching like Russian knockoff movies.
That was a one-time thing.
Okay, but how many movies have you watched that are like weird from other countries that are?
Blame Tubi and free VTV.
Yeah, I don't even watch those. I don't even have those.
You do. Everybody does. You just probably haven't downloaded it.
Yeah, I don't have like the app. I mean,
so
everybody.
In my defense,
yeah,
I will see something on an algorithm.
And then you go find it.
And then I'm like, what's that on?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I don't know if this says more about my algorithm or not, but a lot of times it's on free TV and Tubi.
So here's what
I haven't seen any good movie. You know, the first thing that I started watching on Tubi?
What?
Was the police detective that had the photographic memory.
Oh.
She has red hair and she was really good at solving crimes. She was a mess in her personal life. But she could like remember crime scene layouts.
Is it a recent new show?
It's probably 5 or 6 years old, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Unforgettable.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a decent
Bam.
show.
Look at that Googling.
How did you pull that off? You're the worst. That's pretty good because if that was a game, you could be mad at me for terrible clues.
I just literally Googled police detective with photographic memory.
Yeah, unforgettable.
And
I started watching that on TV, and then I realized it's on other platforms.
Time. Yeah.
So I downloaded Tubi. Tubi has movies.
There's a lot of stuff on it
with like sharks and CGI, where the blood is the color of.
It's like strawberry jelly.
Yes, that's Tubi. That's Tubi. Just saying.
It's just like red paint.
It's like, wow, that's bad.
Like have
and all the shark kegs or shags or cages are all rusted out.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So that is like the one thing from some of the older movies that holds up the worst is like the blood.
Yeah. Go look.
Like even like The Godfather, which I love that movie.
Yeah.
The blood in The Godfather.
You
does not
you
hold
want
up.
a sneaky, real poor one?
Which one?
And it's from a recent movie.
Ooh.
When am I not merciful?
Oh, Gladiator?
When he poked Maximus in the back.
Oh, yeah. In the side before they go in and fight?
It was behind his shoulder blade.
No, it wasn't.
Come on, man. I've seen it 2,000 times.
You're talking about before they go into the arena.
It's right here. He got him right here.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. It wasn't in his side.
You're talking about when they go in the arena.
Yeah.
Before they go in and he gives them the little.
Yeah, it's
No,
behind
it's it's like right on the ribs.
It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with his ribs.
Yeah, it's like back on the ribs. It's like right
his
here.
His arms are up. It's okay.
It's in the ribs.
No, it's $20.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Let's go.
I like this.
Free DB.
I like this.
But the blood is like
the blood's terrible.
The worst color ever.
It like comes out way too fast.
Yeah, I'm
like it looks like it's water.
That's not good for as good as this movie was.
Yeah. And a lot of the other
who will honor him? Who will help me carry him?
He was a soldier of Rome. Honor him.
I did not want her to have that walk-off line either. She pissed me off the whole movie.
Really?
Yes. Soft batch.
What's wrong with her?
Cookies. I get it. Didn't want anything to happen to old Luscious Lucius, but man, come on. I was gonna say grow a pair, but that's.
I mean, it's it's probably not back then. Not the same options available to society.
Knock it off.
Mike Schaefer is going to be joining us next. Husker 24/7 here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Joined now by Rich Hill after his debut here in Omaha. Rich, what were the emotions going out there today for you?
It was great to be back out there and competing again. It was a lot of fun. It's been a little while, so I've been working hard to get back, and just thankful for the opportunity. It was overall, it was a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take me through that process of getting with the Kansas City Royals organization and how that all came together.
Yeah, I'd been in touch with a couple guys in the front office, and just the opportunity had come around, and Dave Wallace, who was a pitching coach for us with Team USA this past winter, was a contact, and I had given him a call and asked him if there was any opportunity here with Kansas City, and very fortunate that there was, and really that's how the talk started, and I was throwing bullpens at home and being able to get ready and come out to start.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centris Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
In the past 2 days for you. What has gone into your swing recently? Have you adjusted anything? Take me through that portion.
Yeah, I've had a lot of adjustments. I've been working with Bijan, the hitting coach here, a lot, and about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I guess now, we kind of found something that's starting to work, and just been sticking with that, and just trying to be as consistent as possible.
Yeah. What have you learned most coming back down to AAA Omaha?
A lot, honestly. Probably more mentally than anything. I've had my ups and downs, had some really rough days, tough days mentally, some decent days, on the field, but just really learning a lot, really testing my faith and growing me closer to God as well. I feel like it's been a big battle in terms of that, and it's kind of helped me a lot.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. I'm reminding you, you've still got time. Make sure you get in touch with Midland's Family Urgent Care if you're trying to lose a little bit of weight. I'm down about 35 pounds. They've got FDA-approved compounds with options to help you lose weight if you've been struggling. Call 402-810-9494 to give yourself an opportunity. Get that consultation. Just see what might work best for you. Again, it's Midland's Family Urgent Care, 402-810-9494. We'll be joined here shortly.
He just logged in.
Oh, beautiful. We've got the one and only Mike Schaefer.
Michael Jefferson? Schaefer?
Is what is your middle name? Have we had this? It's not Jay, right? We just made that up?
It's
my middle name, it is James.
Oh, it is a J. Okay.
Yeah.
I could, because Sauter is not Jerome.
No,
right?
we went through this last year, and I said, "Oh, it's a very nice, simple." I gave it a name, Michael James.
Michael James Schaefer.
Did they go with Mike James or Michael?
It was Michael, and I actually went by Michael for a long time, and then like high school, I made the switch from Michael to Mike. I don't know what actually caused it to happen. I think it was years of my dad just being annoyed that I would correct him when he referred to me as Mike. And then I'd be like, no, it's Michael. And
the most Schaefer thing ever.
Apparently he just wore me out on it. And so I went down to my, and then the thing is by high school, and at least with my experience, no one was using my actual first name aside from maybe a handful of teachers. It just became Schaefer, and then that became Schaefer. And then, off to the races at that point. So
I think I'm 95% of the time Mike J.
Yeah. You're unsurprisingly, you do not follow the course that others have set. So
I thought he was going
to have your own. You have your own lingo and your own verbiage.
Okay. I've had about enough of you again, and it's only whatever it is. Tuesday.
Oh, we're 2 hours in. We're doing good.
So, Mike J, we're wide open. How much rain did you get? I always like to get my Lincoln weather report, or in your case, Beatrice.
I don't own a rain gauge, so I don't know.
How's your grass?
There's rain. There's a lot of wind. The sidewalk and the driveway and the grass were all wet when I rolled out this morning to take Hudson to daycare.
Is your grass pretty green?
It's very green. It's long. I mowed it Friday, and it's already long enough that it needs to be mowed again. It's hard to keep up with for some reason this spring, which is weird because it was so dry. But I might have to put the deck a little lower, get it cut down a little more. But then I feel like when I've done that in the past, we get like the prolonged drought, and then the grass turns brown because you cut it too short and everything else. So I don't know.
I have a popular, unpopular hot take. I want you to let me know what you think.
Okay.
As a resident Blackstone aficionado.
Okay.
A better burger off the grill or a smash burger off the Blackstone, or are they two different things?
I think they're different, and you can have great versions of either and bad versions of either. If I am cooking, I am going to take and make the smash burger every single time. Like it's not even really a debate for me personally, because I like the thin kind of crispness of the patty, and then you stack a couple of them, and
you're giving up a little flavor outside of the char.
I don't know if that's true, because if you do a good job with the seasoning, and if you have seasoned your griddle accurately, there is a ton of flavor in that burger for me, in my experience. Probably more so than if I grill it, because I don't feel like I was seasoning well enough when I was grilling burgers, whereas now I think I season a lot more on the griddle.
So there's actually something to that, because I don't think people use near enough seasoning on the grill because they assume that the flavor will come from the grill.
Yeah,
And it really doesn't.
And it does. Yep.
Yeah,
and
so
especially
if you're like me and you use propane, I mean, you're not going to get.
You can be a little more heavy-handed on the grill than I think people think. And with smash burgers on the Blackstone, you know right where you're at with seasoning too. Especially if you ball it up first, like you know right where you're at. Would you make the case that breakfast is let me just add, what's the best thing you like to make on the Blackstone?
It changes. Like breakfast is my favorite meal to cook off for the Blackstone, because having all of that space and just being able to utilize all of it when you're doing the meat and the eggs, and then if you're doing pancakes or French toast, or we do like the first thing you told me when I bought it was to just not mess around with the frozen hash browns. And so we have had homemade hash browns 99% of the time. There's like one time
you can't even go backwards unless you're
and we did it because we needed it in the pinch, and it just like it felt like I cheated myself to such a degree. I felt like a failure while I was eating it. It was fun, but it was just like you're eating it, and every bite you're just mad because this would have been better had I planned slightly ahead and didn't need to go with the frozen hash brown mix. So and then we've incorporated, like, we'll do hash browns with smash burgers just because I like the flavor of it. I like the potato coming off the burger. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I like doing breakfast burgers.
You got some really good.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid to experiment either, right? And some of them are good and some of them are bad. You want to do that.
I think you have to, the last smash burger we just did, we had having a 15-month-old now, a fair amount of mac and cheese is being consumed. And so I did a mac and cheese smash burger the last time, and so you get a little bit of bacon and you get the mac and cheese thrown in there with a couple patties. And then I roll with the special sauce that tastes like the Big Mac sauce. You get that in. There's a lot of flavor. It was a very, very good burger. I was quite happy with myself.
I may need a quick tutorial on a proper seasoning.
For the Blackstone?
I hate cleaning. I had to clean it again yesterday, and I just used it like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, how am I getting rust remnant?
So what I have found has been the most successful cleaning method for me is after cooking, spritzing some water on there, scraping off lightly, and then just like a quick wipe up of the water and letting some of it smoke off. Then the next time when you cook, you're getting the oil down. Every now and then I'll re-season and let that smoke off a little bit. But I have found just going to that kind of quick spritz water has really maintained the surface
while
of my
it's still
griddle
hot
a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do a lot.
You let it stay. I mean, you don't want it to be like super hot because then it's just,
but still
flaming up, or not flaming up, but just burning up immediately. But I have found like that's been the easy, and then it actually, like, you get in the routine of it, and it makes the cleanup of your griddle go a lot faster.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I feel like my first handful of cooks is like, I like using this thing, but I'm just sitting here scraping this off, and it just
it takes you 35 minutes to clean it.
Yeah, and now it's like I kind of have it down to a science where it's like, okay, we get done with the meal. I'm going to let that thing sit with really low heat, and then come back and throw some water on there, start scraping a little bit, and then let it sit some more. Go get the paper towels, wipe up a little, turn everything off after it looks like it's clean, let it sit so it cools down, then put all the covers on top. So it becomes a science at some point.
Hey, how's your trap game? What are you using to catch everything? The little small ones that they gave you, or have you evolved to?
You mean like the grease trap?
Yeah.
I just use the little one in the back, and then
those are so annoying.
Yeah, you got to trade them out. I mean, we bought like 100 stack of those things, like
I did too.
The first year of having it, and so you just swap them in and out. I have a trash can directly underneath one of the shelves of the Blackstone, so I can just throw stuff away right away, and then there's not a lot of food particles that's in there, and then I have a deck that sits up, so I don't have to worry about animals getting into it or anything. So having that trash can is pretty handy too.
You do have to worry about stuff blowing on your countertop or in your grill top, though. Like you'll see a couple of little seeds or
the cotton this time of year is just
it's terrible.
Pain of my existence.
Sucks.
Terrible.
Like you see it flying in, and your griddle's hot, and you're like trying to like protect it a little bit, but you also don't, I'm kind of a klutz, so I don't want to get too close to the hot. Yeah,
frantically.
If someone's just looking one of my neighbors is just taking a video, it would look bad for me. No,
I'm waving my hands.
I look like Tyler Hansborough after a game-winning shot. That's what I would look like.
Oh, a nice reference. I'm waving my hands and I'm doing this, and Zoe's looking through her bedroom window, and she comes out and she goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, making sure you don't swallow dust bunnies, little bit. Get out of here. But anyway, all right. Have you done fried rice?
I haven't. That's something I haven't tried yet.
So you're basically breakfast or burgers?
Breakfast burgers. We do cheesesteaks. We've started doing a lot more.
Somebody brought up
what meat are you using for the cheesesteaks? Are you using those cheap cuts that you can just dice up with?
Yeah, the Gary's quick steaks. I mean, those things are phenomenal. Like I'm sure it's not the best quality of meat, but in terms of convenience and ease, and they're already pre-cut and it scrambles so easily, and you can have the meal done in like 3.5 minutes, if you really want to.
Also, maybe this is a hot take here. I don't think you should use too high of a quality of cut
to chop.
A, sandwiches in general, and B, to chop.
I'm just telling you, Schaefer, there's times I run myself into my back door over people that like use ribeyes
for a sandwich,
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I'm like, knock it off, man.
The thing is, if you're topping it correctly, you're not, you're getting the flavor of the meat and the juice of the meat, but your toppings and everything else in that cheesesteak are doing the heavy work of it. Like it's a sandwich. Like you don't have to. You're not building the Taj Mahal here for a sandwich. So the Gary's quick steaks are fine for me. I don't want to spend a whole lot more time than that.
A ribeye for a sandwich is not getting cut up.
No, it's like malpractice.
I'm eating it whole.
I just don't even know what you're doing. Like, that's such a waste of a ribeye.
I'm just saying.
Like, you don't use good tequila to make a margarita. Like, you just
I also agree.
Like,
with. I don't believe in mixed drinks, so
you just use something like mid-level. You don't want something nasty, but come on now.
I think we're gonna do fajitas next. Is the next thing we're going for.
Yeah, that sounds like a few too many veggies over there, Mike J.
I'm as surprised as anyone to be near peppers and all these other things, but. Like it was suggested, and I didn't have a reason to basically say no. And
Costco
probably stand to be slightly healthier. I know I'm the portrait of health over here, but
Costco has a new bulk package of cheese that you can buy that has habanero chipotle, sharp cheddar, pepper jack, and Gouda as the four cheeses.
So it's all just the pre-sliced 4 square.
Yes.
Wow. That's a lot of cheese. You're eating that much cheese a week?
Oh, he eats a lot of cheese
every day, Schaefer.
Man, I used
Doesn't eat
to
any
think I was a
carbs,
big
so,
cheese
like,
person, but I
Schaefer,
feel like the older I've gotten, the less cheese I'm eating.
Schaefer, I went to I sent this opening for a Brazilian steakhouse, and I took some cheese off the cold bar to put on the hot slices.
So good.
As I was eating, and it was incredible.
You know how we started this when I said that you just don't go the way that most people go? You blaze your own trail.
They had some phenomenal.
Even when it comes to
But
cheese.
it's amazing.
That Gouda was so good.
And you know what I don't eat, Mike J, is I don't eat grilled cheese. So it's
What do you mean?
Like, as I haven't had a grilled cheese in probably 15 years.
I thought you said real cheese. I was like,
No,
now
grilled.
I'm confused.
Grilled.
I'm pretty sure you got after me for using the Kraft slices, which
Although
probably are not real cheese.
But I could see it.
No, they melt so
melt
incredibly
better.
well. Like
It
they're entirely designed to just melt.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also talking to a guy that shreds blocks of cheese. I don't
Sure.
buy pre-shredded cheese.
I haven't gotten into that. I'm not at the level where I'm just sitting there with the cheese grater.
Dude,
I gotta say, so my wife made me do that one time.
I put cheese in everything
because she was making food for my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Hey, I got like 8 pounds of cheese. I trust you to grate it because you can't help with anything else."
That's where you need the TikTok shop, baby.
Good Lord, that took forever. I was like, "Why don't we just buy shredded cheese? What's
Schaefer,
happening here?"
So you know what I've learned to do, and I saw this on, I think Malcolm Reed did it. I've shred frozen butter.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I put the shavings on there,
that's phenomenal.
It's way.
That's a smart idea.
It's
Yeah.
way. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bread's way easier.
It's like,
yeah, it's great.
You know, I don't have to like wait for it to melt and then hope it gets all over. I just can shred it. I shred it frozen.
That's smart.
No, I might steal that.
Yeah, well, I got it from one of my cooks off of TikTok.
Big TikTok food guy.
Anyway, I suppose we should talk some sport. What should we talk about next, Mike J? I mean, the floor is yours. You're very entertaining.
We can go any direction you want this week. The big thing is the battle at the Boneyard here. locally.
Yeah.
Are you happy that Keith sent out the email giving free reign, or are you interested in having free reign?
Say that again.
Well, you know, that came from the athletic department. Hey, media, you can shoot, you can video record since it's open to the public. Like, does that interest you? Is it like, oh, that's nice, but I'm not really going to utilize it? Like, what are you thinking?
Oh, it's good. I mean, any access is good. It's basically the same as your Friday Night Lights access. I mean, we're not going to be able on the field, so you're going to be standing in the stands, and the quality of what you get is going to be less than just being able to describe it. Usually, I mean, the photos. We did this spring, right, when they had the open 20-minute periods. Like, I don't have a super high quality camera. I have just a serviceable camera, the lens of which is relatively fine, but I am not a particularly good photographer because I don't generally need to be. Like, I'm not out there trying to take action shots that I will be submitting for award-winning quality, but usually I'm close enough to the action that I can get solid photos. I'm going to stop well short of good. But when you're kind of confined to the stands and you're a little bit away, like the photo quality isn't going to be great. Video's a little bit better, because it just tracks a little better. You don't have to have everything perfectly lined up in the shot because it's going to play out over whatever the action is. But yeah, I mean, it's good that we're going to be able to get this. I'm very curious what it looks like in terms of the environment on Friday. You know, they pulled this thing together here this spring, and I didn't know who was going to be coming out. And right now it seems like they have an intriguing list. There's a couple teams that I think are kind of flip-flopping on whether they're going to be here or not. And one of them, South Florida Express, would be bringing in the largest contingent of talent. But I was just reading about Midwest Boom, a 7-on-7 team that has their quarterback is Jonas Williams. He's committed to USC. He's likely going to be out here. Kendry Harrison is a tight end committed to Oregon. There's a handful of 4-star wide receivers and defensive backs in the 27 class in the states of Ohio and Illinois that are expected to be out here playing. There's some under-the-radar 2026s who have an opportunity to maybe impress Nebraska's staff with that. And so I think that's the sort of thing, so you have Midwest Boom. You're going to have a couple teams from Florida for sure that are going to be up here. Cam Newton's 7-on-7 team, C1N, is going to be here. You'll have a team from the Pacific Northwest, several teams from Los Angeles, Atlanta, Texas, Mississippi, Indianapolis. So you're going to get players out here who have never been to Nebraska. And so For Nebraska, it's less so the quality of the 7-on-7 and who wins it. It's more so this is basically the biggest recruiting event of their year, because they didn't have the big spring game, right? And we all were like, what are they going to do about the big spring game? And they had a pretty quiet junior day. You know, they didn't have the, like, we'll bring in 60 kids and 5 of them are the ones that we're really going after, but there's 55 other guys here walking around. So they've had sort of a unique recruiting calendar, and this is a staple big event. And it's going on at the same time. There's a huddle symposium for recruiting. So you're going to have some other guys that are going to be over there for that are going to be taking unofficial visits. I mean, effectively, they're going to have, you know, a few, if they have, let's say they have 12 to 16 teams, and all of those teams have like 15 to 20 players on them. I mean, you're going to have a lot of guys on campus that are eating at your training table, that are using your facilities. Some of them you're never recruiting. Some of them you're going to see for the first time and could end up on your radar. Some of them you already know about, and this is like getting not an official visit, but getting an unofficial visit where they're coming out here, they're able to compete. You get to watch them athletically, and it's like a camp environment too. So you're going to be able to get the measurements, and you're going to have the height and weight, and you can do some on-field instruction in the morning. And John Butler and Addison Williams can work specifically with defensive backs to see how they're moving and their hips and all of that. And Dykeel Shorts can work with wide receivers, and Dana Holgerson can, you know, watch and see like what stands out to him about some of these offensive players in a way that you wouldn't get if they were just coming in and going through the car wash and doing the tour and having the position meetings and then leaving. So it's a pretty valuable thing. And I am very fascinated to see what the fallout of all of it is. I don't really care who wins it. You know, that's not any value to me, but I'm going to be really interested Saturday and Sunday, just kind of tracking and talking to different people. What was this for you? Because nobody else in the country has done this. That's the thing. I mean, Nebraska has found something that it is owning that no one else has done, that next year lots of people are going to copy. So they get a 1-year window where they get to try this, and it could be pretty successful.
And I like how they staggered it too, because he has the Matt Rule football camp that happens on Sunday too. So, oh, by the way, hey, if you want to stick around, we got
Schaefer.
And you know, Bill Bush mentioned this to me when he found out about it, and I hadn't considered this. He said when they would have stuff like this previously under kind of different rules, a lot of teams that have like their 7-on-7 affiliated with various high schools might also have some linemen that'll just tag along, and they can work out in the camp in the morning. So then, you know, everyone kind of gets 7-on-7 isn't real football, blah, blah, blah. There might be some linemen that are tagging along that are going to have the opportunity to just go work out with Donovan Raiola and Phil Simpson and Terry Bradden too. So it's not just skill position players. Like they might have some guys in town going through camp that are just there hanging out doing this because they have some buddies playing 7-on-7 and they want to make that trip too. And their 7-on-7 financially can bring them. So there's a benefit to the entire roster here.
Jay, if you mentioned that Nebraska, you know, trying to get some 1-year preview of doing this thing that nobody else has really done so far, I imagine they brainstormed quite a few different things to do something that would bring attention to Nebraska. You know, they're always working on that. I wonder if part of it, with the emphasis on guys that love football and guys that are hyper competitive, I do wonder if they maybe do care a little about who wins, or at least how the competition goes, if that makes sense.
I think it's less so the final results than if you are a 4-star player, are you the kind of guy that's out on the field all the time? Or are you the kind of guy that just wants to take a few reps, run around, take some pictures, be an Instagram football player, look like, you know, let everybody know that you're on a campus somewhere, and then you're just sitting off in the corner screwing around on your phone? I mean, I like those guys exist, and you want to avoid them. You know, like Nebraska taken a few of those players in the past and found out the hard way that when they got here, they're a lot more interested in appearing.
Have their phone on the field. Like, I don't think you can, Schaefer. I remember a couple of times. It's funny you use that as an analogy. We were just kind of doing the walk pregame, and you and Brunts were in the corner. It was early, and 2 guys were hurt. I'm not even going to say who they were, and they were along the bench. And I was walking around the field with Coach Rule, and he stopped. Was on the other side, It was a couple years ago because they were on the other side of the field. And he goes, "What are we doing with that?"
Remember when that was the whole big thing? By the way,
Yeah, I do. Hey, don't wear darks in the sun. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing with that out here?" And said player was like, "Oh, I'm just texting to see if we're doing our rehab on the field or at the complex." And I just was like, "Wow, I like it." Like, even though you're not like that's a. I'm glad you bring up stuff like that because people think that stuff doesn't matter. But it actually does, man. Like, are you out here to learn something and kind of, steal some reps, or is it about something else?
I mean, I don't want to name names, but there were some players under the previous couple regimes that didn't play, but managed to have very flashy posts on their social media ahead of games. Like, they're going through their warm-ups and they got the war paint on and they've got all of it, and it's for the gram, and it's like it's a real thing. Like, there was players like that it's not about what happened in the game, and then that post is going up after you just lost a critical road game.
Used to drive you crazy,
and then it's like you're on the flight and like whatever. I mean, these guys are still effectively kids, and I don't want to be overly critical about it, but damn well Matt Rule wants the guys that the last thing they're thinking about is putting up a picture of them on a road trip somewhere when they're flying back after another one-score loss.
Oh.
Like, they do, like, you want that out of your program as much as possible because it doesn't give you any value. Like, you're not, what was it, the phrase that Ryan Held used to use, and Nebraska had guys like this, and they knew they had guys like this. You don't want the bus riders and the steak eaters. Like, you want guys that are there to play football. Yeah. And I think sometimes when we try to devalue 7-on-7, some of the stuff you can find in there, if that kid's a 5-star and he's playing every rep in a 7-on-7, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's someone that just wants to compete.
It's a set apart for sure. It's not necessarily like a negative marker, but if he is, like, that's definitely.
Yeah, it's just a note, it's just something you write down. You're like, all right, this kid's competing. Does he need to run the 40-yard? Does he need to put up a time for Nebraska to camp? No, but is he doing it because he wants to see if he's faster than everybody else? Seems like that matters.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer.
I'm not done.
Oh, my bad.
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
Mike.
Pardon me.
Incredible.
Like, this is what we do, Mike J. This is what we do.
I try and read it. Sometimes I guess wrong. That's, it happens.
You guys could have, like, hand signals under the table.
We do sometimes, but I kind of just looking at him. I was like,
to his, I can't believe I'm going to help him out here. But in his defense, there was a little pause where I sat back in my chair, which typically means
that you're good.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But I have one more question.
Yes.
You may want to pull up NFL standings from 2024, unless you know off the top of your head.
I can help you out too.
In your head, Mike J, who's the most likely to go from worst to first?
Okay. So the Commanders didn't quite do that.
Our last place teams last year.
I think it's happened 18 out of the last 21 years.
Patriots.
Cincinnati. Or Cleveland.
Browns.
Yep.
Tennessee. Vegas. Giants. Bears. Saints, 49ers.
I mean, the obvious two, because it's the other ones are just hard. So the AFC North was the Browns, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just don't see that one. If it was the Bengals, it'd be easier to talk myself into that.
Sure.
But the Browns, there's too much going on there at the quarterback position, so they're out. Giants, too many teams to jump over, so for me, they're out. Tennessee plays in the right sort of division where this thing can happen. I just don't believe in the infrastructure over there. I just don't.
Fair.
So they're out. I don't think the Patriots are jumping the Bills, even if I think that Mike Vrabel is going to have them playing better football overall. So they're out. It's really just the Saints and the 49ers. The Bears you could maybe talk yourself into with Ben Johnson and what they put together in terms of talent. That division is a fight.
Let me ask
that is a fight.
Let me ask you something, Schaefer. you know this division better than anybody. I made the case to Verzal last week, but I couldn't get him to play along because he hates Caleb Williams.
Hates him.
Could the last place team in your division have 10 wins?
I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. I think the Vikings are going to struggle.
Certainly could have 9.
Like, I think the Vikings might struggle to get to 10 just because we don't know how it's going to go with J.J. McCarthy. Exactly. I think what it's going to be, though, is a lot of those teams are going to beat each other up. Like, I don't think you're going to have, like, a 13-win NFC North champion because I think it's going to be hard for anyone to go 2-0.
Everybody could be between, like, 8 and 11 wins.
Yeah, I think that's pretty likely. Like, I would be surprised if anybody has less than 8 wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, you'd have to have if there's just a really bad injury or whatever, but the Vikings roster is very good. The Lions roster is very good. The Packers, despite the fact they never like to give them any credit, have talent on that team throughout. And the Bears have an interesting new head coach, and they still have plenty of talent, even if you're not a big believer in Caleb Williams.
You could make the case. I don't get that.
What?
Listen, Schaefer, I think you could make the case that the Bears have a better roster than the Packers.
I was just going to say that. You don't know about the quarterback.
How do you not know about? Stop saying that. How do you not know about Caleb Williams?
Because you have a bigger sample size of success with Jordan Love. You don't know what the ceiling on Caleb Williams is.
You don't have a bigger sample size of success. You have a bigger sample size with Jordan Love.
I can't believe you guys are making me make this case.
Okay.
Here's why I feel comfortable putting the Packers over the Bears. It doesn't have to do with the quarterbacks. I don't particularly like him, but Matt LaFleur is a good coach.
No,
Matt LaFleur is winning with who was the quarterback that they basically Malik Willis.
No,
he's running a high school offense with Malik Willis, and they're winning games.
And
if Matt LaFleur was the Bears quarterback, Justin Fields would have had more success.
And that first start against Tennessee for Willis, they ran up and down the field. Like
he is a good coach. I don't think they have a loaded roster.
I just don't get the quarterback thing.
I think
Jordan Love's fine.
Extra year.
He's okay, but so's Caleb Williams. Like we just looked up his stats. Like the dude is pretty good for a guy that we take a duker on.
He's also.
Think about it this way: the Packers played the Eagles better than the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl.
I'm definitely not down on the Packers. Hear my heart.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think Matt LaFleur we don't know what Ben Johnson is as a head coach either. I mean, we've seen this before where the hotshot offensive coordinator gets into the big chair and it doesn't quite go how you want.
That's the thing. LaFleur is just start with the head coach, not the quarterbacks or even the roster, because I do like the Packers roster defensively. But I mean,
LaFleur is really good,
and the Bears have a good roster.
That division has some coaches, no doubt about it.
If Ben Johnson can win the culture war like some of these other young hotshots like McVay and those guys did, Bears are in business. Bears are in business.
I don't know that I want that. I'd be okay if he's just
you
out and the Bears are the Bears. I'm okay.
You watched a guy do it. KOC did it.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't think he
just wasn't a shirt and pom-pom guy. Like that culture. They act like him. They talk like him. Like that's KOC.
It's real too. It is not fake. It is not for the cameras. That is who he is. I think day in and day out. I think when players sense that, I think that is big. The guys that are fake for it, players are going to tune that out. And I think Minnesota buys into Kevin O'Connell because it's genuine. It's real.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Good. Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Appreciate the time as always, bud.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me on.
Mike J.
That's Mike J. Schaefer, Husker 24/7. We will be back with more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
We good?
Joined now by Rich Hill after his debut here in Omaha. Rich, what were the emotions going out there today for you?
It was great to be back out there and competing again. It was a lot of fun. It's been a little while, so I've been working hard to get back, and just thankful for the opportunity. It was overall, it was a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take me through that process of getting with the Kansas City Royals organization and how that all came together.
Yeah, I'd been in touch with couple guys in the front office, and just the opportunity had come around, and Dave Wallace, who was a pitching coach for us with Team USA this past winter, was a contact, and I had given him a call and asked him if there was any opportunity here with Kansas City, and very fortunate that there was, and really that's how the talk started, and I was throwing bullpens at home and being able to get ready and come out to start.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centris Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
In the past 2 days for you. What has gone into your swing recently? Have you adjusted anything? Take me through that portion.
Yeah, I've had a lot of adjustments. I've been working with Bijan, the hitting coach here, a lot, and about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I guess now, we kind of found something that's starting to work, and just been sticking with that, and just trying to be as consistent as possible.
Yeah. What have you learned most coming back down to AAA Omaha?
A lot, honestly. Probably more mentally than anything. I've had my ups and downs, had some really rough days, tough days mentally, some decent days, on the field, but just really learning a lot, really testing my faith, and growing me closer to God as well. I feel like it's been a big battle in terms of that, and it's kind of helped me a lot.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Appreciate Matt DeMarinis and Mike Schaefer joining us this morning. Good stuff there from them, as always.
I like the range.
I do like guys that we can kind of talk about whatever with.
Yeah.
I wanted to run something by you, though, DB.
Listen to the mandolin range.
Because another guy that he's got really good football range. We don't really talk to him about much else.
What?
Tim Verghese.
Oh, yeah.
He's agreed to be a part of our draft.
Oh, you reached out to him?
I did. Okay. He is excited about it. He seemed very enthusiastic about draft participation. So what we're going to do here is you and me and Tim, and then we're going to select two listener guests to be part of the draft as well. And we're going to, whoever wins not one of us, but whichever guest wins gets a $100 gift card to Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
It is a good deal. So we'll keep track of the points. I'm gonna propose my point system. You tell me yay or nay, okay?
Yeah.
Because I worked on this. I did. I thought a lot about it.
I know, and I felt like you were originally were doing a good job of running things by me, and then I think you just were like, I'll come back to you with the finished product.
Well, yeah, I felt like it might be easier than working through it in real time.
I like real time.
I like fake time.
All right, talk to me.
All right, so all touchdowns, running.
Now, you guys out here listening, let us know what you think we could do differently.
Yeah, if we think the point system messed up, because I'm literally just pulling this out of my head here. So
because we did get our golf scoring from our listeners.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, we did with the not making the cut penalty. Yeah, that was good. So all touchdowns, 1 point. Rushing, passing, whatever. All touchdowns, 1 point.
So we're just going to keep these numbers low?
I mean, over the course of the season, they'll accumulate.
Okay.
We could make them 6 if you want.
Don't be discouraged, man. Hold the fort.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to do like fantasy point scores. This is a season-long deal.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to be the one that has to keep track of this, so I'm trying to make it easy on me.
Rico's a trip.
1s are easier to add up than 6s are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Interceptions and any fumble. I'm doing lost and just fumbled because a fumble is a negative play, -1. Are you okay with that?
Okay.
You can deal with that?
So it's the same value as
a lost fumble as a recovered fumble. If you're a quarterback and you fumble the ball, that's a -1.
Does it have to be recovered by the other team?
No. Any fumble.
Really?
Yep.
How are we going to keep track of that?
They have stats on fumbles recovered versus. I'm pretty sure.
They do.
I'm pretty sure every time they fumble, it goes on their fumble stat, whether it's recovered or not.
Yeah. Okay.
So interceptions and any fumble, -1.
We have some guys that are trying to weasel in this game.
Listen, we're gonna come up with a system to choose, and I think we're gonna try and reward.
We can't let AJ and Rico play, can we?
Ooh. So we'd have 7 drafters?
No. Could they win slots? We can't let
we might let them in as like an addition, but we're gonna have 2 listeners.
AJ's still bed hopping, so we may have to let him kind of do it.
We need 2 listeners. What if we have Rico and AJ be one person?
Oh, do you think those 2 could agree?
I don't know, but that's the fun of it.
Oh my gosh. I would just like to watch those 2 have a conversation.
Well, we can watch them. We can bring them up here.
Because you said, okay, let's process through this. This is great right
Okay.
now. I said I was trying to pick the number of people playing. Yeah. I was shooting for 5.
Yeah.
And I said, well, there's at least 32 good quarterbacks.
So you, me, Tim, 2 listeners is 5. And I said 7 apiece.
And you came back and you said, well, there's at least 60 to choose from.
Yeah, we're looking at like 67.
And I thought about it, and I'm like, is there?
I mean, in just terms of number of
guys
power
that I would
teams.
want. No, I get that, but is there guys that I would want to draft?
I think there's about half. It's probably about half of the number that I'd be interested in.
Now, if you think there's 60 quarterbacks,
I think it's 67. There'll be 67 starters.
I'm not talking about just actual, because if draftable, draftable.
Okay. I think they'll be
50.
I think they'll be close to 50.
50 draftable quarterbacks.
Yes. We're going to get between 40 and 50. We're going to have some reaches.
I could see having 6 guys draft.
So you, me, Tim, we get a combo slot for Rico and AJ.
No, Austin, you can't. Rico and I could beat Ravi and DB. No. AJ, that is cockapoo.
Absolutely not true.
That is cockapoo.
You're not going to.
And now they're riding together.
I know. That's why I mean. That's why they get. I'm going to make them fight over it.
Rico, you're riding with AJ and vice versa.
Yeah, they're like 2 peas. They sit next to each other. They just
crack jokes and make fun of everybody. Oh, I could see that happening.
So okay, so we'll do you,
know
me.
What ghost pepper is?
It's like habanero. So you, me, our producer combo guy, Tim, and then 2 listeners. So 6 guys. You want to have them do 6 each? We get to 36.
Yep, and we're going to do a $100 gift card and a $50 gift card for second place.
All right, let's do it. That's how we're going to do it. So point system.
What do we get if we win, or if I win or you win?
I guess we get the gift card.
You're not beating me.
Who knows? That's what you said about you said about the Masters.
You need some help. Like, you got to stay healthy. And
you do need some help. That's why you get 6 guys.
All right, let's roll. Keep going.
All right. All touchdowns are 1. Interceptions and any fumble, -1. Okay? Passing yards. I'll listen here. I did 1 point for every 200 yards. So over the course of the season, if you were a 4,000-yard passer.
That's fair. I like it.
Rushing yards, I did 1 point for every 50 yards.
Oh, yeah, there'll be a lot of guys not scoring, but you can steal some points.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, and then my last one, team wins are worth 2 points each.
Let's do it.
Did I miss anything?
So interceptions and fumbles are the same?
Yep, -1.
Golly, you know what I want to do?
What's that?
Sacks.
I thought about sacks. I really did, because I was like, that's a negative play.
Yeah, and sometimes these guys just hold the ball.
So I was thinking -1 felt too aggressive on a sack, but I also thought, okay, the rushing yards kind of give me that a little bit since they get included.
Yeah, we don't have to overcomplicate it. That's fine.
And I will go negative on rushing yards. So if you end up the season with -50 rushing yards, that's a -1.
Oh, I like that. I do.
I was considering half a point for sacks. Half a point for sacks.
I think you got to. I like the sack idea.
I really, that was the only other one I thought about. So I'm saying -half a point for each sack.
Yeah.
Because that's be less than the turnover, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go each sack taken is -0.5.
Do you agree with Steven that sacks will be in the rushing yards? Because I don't.
No, not enough.
Yeah, I don't think it'll factor enough.
Not enough. Because there's, like, taking too many sacks can even out, especially if you're somewhat mobile. Like, you can.
Yeah, and Mendoza may not rush for 50 yards, but he may take 2 sacks.
Yeah. And, like, Nussmeier, for instance, who's not mobile, he was only -38 on the season last year. So he wouldn't even gotten to -1.
Yeah, and Dylan was 50?
Yeah. So, like, you're not getting enough of a negative impact for how much taking a lot of sacks negatively impact your team. That's why I was strict on the even recovered fumbles, because I go, that's a really negative play for your team.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough draft.
It is going to be a tough draft because you have a lot to consider.
Are we serpentining it? So the order, will we go, if you're 6, you go back to 1?
Yes. I think it's the only fair way to do it.
Oh, boy.
So here's what I think was.
Oh, boy.
Here's what I was thinking about.
I'm going to tier my guys.
I'm gonna assign everyone a number.
No, we'll figure that out. We don't have to talk to it now.
Okay.
Because I think I have a good idea.
Okay. I was just gonna use the random number generator.
No, I think I
have a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So what we need to figure out
is how to pick the
listeners.
Yeah.
Because I want to reward people that listen every day. So I was thinking almost like a show trivia question, like something about the show.
We have so many people that go. I mean, all the downloads. We have so many people that go back and get it.
I know. So I almost want it to be like
it's not a time,
live.
Yeah.
So it needs to be something like. It needs to be something that we do online. Probably, we'll tease it on the show, but got to figure that out. If you have good ideas, if you're listeners, you listen every day, and you have a good idea on how we should pick this, let us know, because that's the last part we're working through.
All right. So you're really rocking. You're gonna let Rico and AJ be a team?
They get one team.
Oh Lord, if we'll never. They will chime in every week.
Yeah, well, I think they do anyway.
No, you're going to turn AJ loose. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
You're going to be reading some things, because sometimes when you read things, it makes you mad.
I know.
You're going to turn AJ loose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, AJ hasn't had me mad at him yet. You've seen when I get mad at people, like, it gets a little dicey.
You'll never be able to get mad at Rico. Jeez.
I love Rico. That's my guy.
It's kind of weird.
That's my guy. I don't get mad at you either. Knock it off.
Yeah, I left a couple of times. You're like, oh, God, what's the DICK?
No, I'm just like, oh, did I actually make him mad this time? That's usually what it's like when you're out there like walking.
Or no, it's more like this. Of all the things I've said, you got mad at that?
That really is usually it. So I'm like, dude, I've said some wild stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the one that got you?
Yeah, you're horrible.
Well, is it like an accumulation of punches type thing?
And this is going to be good. Yes, this is going to be good. And if you want a couple of cheat codes, a couple of magazines are out.
Yeah. Well, I think the Phil Steele online version comes out.
I DM'd him. It's going to print in 2 days. He should be ready to roll around the 4th.
But the
July.
PDF, I think, comes out sooner.
Yeah.
So you can go buy
He
it.
wanted you have to, what is it when you do it early?
Oh.
The VIP members.
Yeah. You have to join the membership to get the PDF.
Yeah.
But you can get the PDF early if you want to go. I don't know if it'll be out by Friday, though.
It's going to print. He said 2-3 days yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So it'll be close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be close.
And then he's thinking 4th of July.
For the actual physical
for the hard
copies.
copy. Yeah, Athlon's is out.
Yeah. So you've got some options to go look through, and we're doing all power conference quarterbacks. So will you allow, this is an important question, if the quarterback position is uncertain, will you allow them to draft a team, or do they have to pick a guy?
Oh, they can take the team. Like if you want the Ohio
like
State
if
guy.
you're like West Virginia. No, I'm not doing with Ohio State. You need to pick a guy for Ohio State because they're too high profile. Ohio State, you have to pick a guy.
Okay.
But like if it's
Colorado,
I guess I'll give you Colorado. Or I was thinking like Virginia or West Virginia. These teams that's like we don't really know who's going to start.
Yeah.
I'll give you those to pick a guy. I'll be honest, it's going to be a judgment call, and I'll give you a yes or no in the moment.
Look at Todd.
What is Todd saying?
And I was the first one in on him. I may be the first one out.
If you can properly pronounce gin, you're in.
Jen.
You just said the same thing.
I did not.
You said Jan.
I said Jen.
Jen, Jen.
That's Jen.
Yeah, Jen.
Yes.
Okay, say the other one.
Jen.
You said it right that time.
I know I did.
Just the once. That's the
Jerks.
first. That's the first time you
I
said
shouldn't
it
have
right.
even read that because you get you're like a child.
What happens if the QB gets hurt? Sorry. That's what happens if the QB gets hurt.
Or we could do like the WNBA where they just got
Like an emergency spot?
Yeah, like how does that happen?
I don't
This
think
is an emergency roster spot.
I think if your guy gets hurt, that's part of it.
I mean, that would be a huge deterrent for a guy like Sellers.
Well, I think that also offsets some of the running, right?
Quavo.
You know? Offset, Quavo. Big Migos guy.
Yes.
You didn't think I was going to get that.
Oh, I did. Hotel Lobby. Great song.
Cultured.
Asian Wyatt.
Oh, I got this.
Dude just lays in the cut.
Oh, I love it. No, so yeah, I think we just let the injuries ride because that offsets some of the rushing stuff too.
Boy, that is tough.
Nobody said I was nice.
I kind of don't mind it though, because if you want to go big, I mean,
It's part of it.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, because if you want to try and go get a guy, if you like the New Mexico
Haynes King.
Haynes King is a good one. The New Mexico transfer at Utah,
Dampier.
Dampier, right? Like that dude rushed for 1,100 yards last year, but like, he's gonna take a lot of hits. Like you have to decide what's worth it to you. And I do think it matters. That helps with the good team thing, right? Like, is your offensive line gonna keep your guy healthy?
Freaking QBs. I want to go back and get that segment because I think you guys overdid it. Every last one of you.
We saying Pam or Pan? think I can shed
Okay,
some light on the whole.
what are we doing for injuries?
I think we let it ride. Maybe do we let him do a supplemental pick?
Like a bench guy, like have a guy on the bench?
No, I mean like if your guy gets injured and you're out for the year, it has to be a season-ending injury. You get to go pick from somebody that's left. Or do we just give them the backup? Maybe they should get the backup.
So maybe a guy's like stockpiling like Chillis.
Yeah.
Or Calic Manis or somebody.
Yeah, maybe we should give them the backup. I don't know. We'll think about that. Injuries are interesting.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm you know me, my tendency.
I'm with you, Jack. Don't make it too complicated. I know, Jack. We're gonna keep it simple. I'm glad we're just using ones for points. I can count.
Yeah, that's why I did it, honestly. Like it's like he threw 30 touchdowns. That is 30 points.
Okay, we need to get some consensus on what we think you should do with an injured quarterback. That's one of the things we got to figure out.
So chat.
And then figure out how to pick.
This is your homework for tomorrow. Injured quarterback, what do we do? And how do we pick which two of you listeners, get to participate?
Yeah.
That's your homework for tomorrow, chat.
I need to go back and revisit my poll to see just how wrong I was.
On the ACC?
Yeah. Because I got you to come around after you've like actually thought about it for a second.
Well, again, if you give me any 3 ACC teams, I'm in. If you give me those 3 specifically, I do think they struggle to all be competitive at the same time. But there's enough other potential teams in that conference that they can come get it.
Only 48 minutes left. You're not. Although 1 out of 3 contend is up to 48%. So it's gone up. It's gone up 5%.
2 is second still.
Any 2 of the 3 is 28%.
Okay.
I'll give it one last retweet and see what happens.
I do think if it was any 3 instead of just those 3 specific teams, 3 is my.
I'm not even going to give you the data that Lance gave me.
Oh,
it's incredible.
Good or bad?
It is not in my favor.
Yeah.
For those 3 teams.
For those 3 schools. Yeah. That's why I brought up the rest of the conference, because I do think there's more potential competitive teams in that conference than people give it credit for. Like, I don't look at the top 5 in that conference and look and say, oh, that's dramatically worse than what we're talking about in some other places. Now, I get resource-wise because of where the ACC's at.
Well, the funny thing that started the whole conversation was, are you really going to roll the dice if you're Sankey on trying to get a 5th team?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's 5 enough that are good. 5 that are good enough.
What did you think about Klatt's 2.5 proposal?
I was listening.
I actually liked that.
We need to. So that's got to be part of tomorrow's show.
We'll get that into tomorrow because there's some variations of the 5 plus 11. Because I like the guardrails, but I think there's some ways you can take it out of the committee's hands a little bit to give. Because at my heart, 5 plus 11, I think makes more sense to me.
Were you surprised or encouraged that he was as down on the committee as he was?
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't really encouraged either. I just thought it was accurate.
Hey, he's like, frankly, you guys haven't done a good job.
They haven't.
I was like, wow.
But I do think he ignored some pretty obvious fixes for it. Like the 5 by 11 is fixable with just a few tweaks. And I want to get into that tomorrow because at my heart, I do think the 5 by 11 speaks to more about what I want college football to be. But you do have to put in some other guardrails if it's not going to be the automatic qualifiers. And one of those guardrails is making the committee less important.
Yesterday at 12 o'clock, I thought 5 plus 11 was laughable.
Seems like it's gaining some steam. Weird that the Big 12 is the one championing it. I think.
The whole nose despite the face thing?
I think it's weird that the Big 12 is one of them.
Do you know what I think they're banking on?
What's that?
Strength in numbers. Because they'll have a lot of teams in the discussion that may not crack like the top 8.
But they like their chances from 8 to 16?
Yep.
Maybe. That makes sense. I mean, what would we do this exercise when you were like top 25? Yes. Top 10? No.
Yeah.
5 in the top 25, 0 in the top 10.
So
for me.
That might be what they're thinking.
Maybe. That would make sense. We'll get into this more tomorrow. I do think there's ways to make a 5 plus 11 work. And if you can do that, I do prefer that over the AQs. We'll get it. I know you don't love the AQs.
Don't get me started on AQs.
Big AQ guy over here, Damon Benning. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.